Question is, who's going to open into his big blind?
Nobody, Prajit. Nobody.
And just takes it down. He had kings. He actually had kings there. Look at that.
I really don't want to be Faiz, Nikita, or Anuj at this point because they all the three players have 10 big blinds and have the maximum pressure, has the maximum risk premium attached to them. It's tough out there, Prajit. Not easy playing the high roller.
Absolutely not. But you can see the amount of discipline that each one of these players have. We're still 8-handed here. We've not lost a single player. Having said that, there are about 5-6 players that are under 10 big blinds at this point in time.
I mean, you got three players who have like 6 big blinds, three players who've got 10 big blinds, and you have Arsh Grover and you have Alok Birewar, I'm sorry. Just a disclaimer, I do not know any Alok Birewar.
There's also letting his ace-3 go because he knows that there's Alok and Arsh to follow, and both of them have him covered.
They're all in.
And Alok just jams. This time around, not trying to raise and face a jam. He just jams himself into Ali and taking the pot down, chipping up again.
Now you don't even have to give button your action, you can do it yourself. You have to take out your do-it-yourself kit.
Nikita under the gun. Looked at one of her card. Looked at the other now. She's got the Queen 10 off. 11 bigs. Let's it go. Easy. Anuj. Letting his hand go as well. Action on Siddhant. He's got 6 bigs. He's picked up pocket 4s. He's already seen 2 people fold in front of him. And he has gone all in. Going ahead with his pocket 4s there. Would anybody be making that call? No. Arsh letting his queen deuce off. What does the chip leader have there? Alok with the king queen. He's asked for the count. He's going to see that it's only worth 6 big blinds. He's most likely going to be making this call with his king queen there.
Alok just made a remark in the last hand that he really wants to knock out Siddhant Kapoor, and this is the opportunity.
I don't know if he was talking about Siddhant or Faiz though.
I think it was Siddhant because Faiz and Alok are good friends.
But that's maybe the reason why he wants to knock his friend out and joke about that. You know?
Well,
I mean, I'd love to knock my friend out because it gives me bragging right for the rest of my life.
I have no comments to add on that statement. Alok realizing that Siddhant is going to be jamming a lot of ace-x hands, so that is why he's decided to fold his king-queen off, preserve his chip stacks because he knows that he's going to be opening any 2 in the next round.
Yeah, if he did make that call, it would have been a sort of a flip there. 4s versus king queen, and Siddhant would have been at risk for his tournament life, but that's not the case. He picks up the chips, and we move on to the next hand.
What did you have that you were thinking? Queen jack? Mediocre pockets थे. Stream में दिख जाएगा.
Siddhant getting the information that he wanted and not giving anything to Alok here.
No, but that's enough information for Alok, in my opinion. He knows there were pocket pairs, and he knows he would have been flipping there if he'd made the call.
10 bigs for Anuj Yadav and having an ace-8 suited from early position. This is the hand you don't want to induce. You either want to go all in or fold. If he decides to actually induce with this hand, I'll be really shocked. So we might just see Anuj move all in or fold.
Now, would he be wanting to do that, considering there are very short stacks on the table as well? He does decide to just open there and not going all in and committing his entire stack. He's giving himself the option to get away from this hand in case there's some action that he does not like behind him. But of course, he looks very nutted there. Arsh letting his king 10 go. What's the chip leader? What do he also folds his queen 3. Ali G with the Hariom. Letting his junk go. Abhinav with the king 6 off. Nikita doesn't pick much. Taking it down, Anuj. Chipping up to 2.6 million. I'm enjoying myself. I'm actually really enjoying myself seeing Anuj chip up there.
That is why Anuj is out there sitting on a final table for a Highroller event, and here I am sitting inside the booth doing the commentary.
Absolutely. What a man. Gets the respect when he opens his hand too.
And I just saw Ali's Instagram story, and I think today he announced that he's getting married.
Oh wow.
That is not a certain information, but I am like 90% sure
But
that
do you
he
think
has
he'd joke about
announced it.
something like that? Did you see it on his story?
I saw it on his story that he's spoken to the parents, and they're just gonna print the cards. And yeah, like I am 90%
Well, if that's
sure
the case, then it
he was
calls for some
talking.
congratulations and champagne on that table.
Yep.
We wish him the best. For his
And the money
future.
that he's gonna win from this final table is definitely gonna help in the wedding.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Wedding or the wedding ring depends on what he utilizes that money on.
He might wanna buy the chopper that we have parked outside this casino.
Anuj, I don't mind. Alok has opened with his 5-4 Anuj with the ace queen on the big blind. Ratatata, that's a jamming hand, and he goes in and quickly takes it down. Listen, Alok, listen, here's the thing about him. He wastes no time in opening hands, and he wastes even lesser time in folding hands. Alok, a gentleman sort of a player.
Well, the faster he plays, the more hands he can play and
Yeah.
put more pressure on the opponents.
Faiz out of the gun with the junk. Absolute junk there. King deuce. Doesn't really matter. He's just gonna keep the world guessing. Nikita with the ace 10 on the dealer button. Now it's not as strong as pocket jacks, right? The couple of times that she has had pocket jacks against Alok's open and jammed and got an immediate fold from him. The question is, does she think ace 10 is good enough to be going all in with? She does. She only had 9 big blinds there. She does rip it in. She knows for a fact that Alok is going to have 100% range in his opens, and ace 10 is right up there against 100% range. So a no-brainer.
Yep. I mean, they were like shorter stacks, but now the players have realized that Alok actually is opening 100% of his range, and ace 10 is a premium hand versus that range.
Yep, and Nikita has actually benefited a lot from that. She's actually picked up 3 opens that Alok has had over a period of time.
Rice? That's where rice comes from.
Ali asking Alok to knock somebody out so he can move up the ladder, get some more money.
Yeah. I mean, just for everyone to know, they've all locked up 4.97 lakh. And the next player is going to get 5.64 lakh guaranteed. Alok this time with a legit hand. The King Jack of clubs. Abhinav Iyer folded his ace 2 suited. Anuj on the button with 9-3, letting it go. Siddhant, the Queen 4, and now we have Faiz on the big blind.
You have family in Ireland, right? No? Do you have anyone? Must be quite a story. Tell me later. I love stories. You know, she got Irish blood in her. Huh? Ali? She's got Irish blood in her.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro.
Wow. तो हमारे लिए ये एक्सेंट है वाव हो गया मतलब वाव
आयरलैंड में जाके भी बोलेंगे तो बोलेंगे वाह
ये भी कहीं ऊपर से आ गया
Both celebrating, have a little bit of fun with Nikki.
उनका कार्ड इससे रीड हो रहा है उधर
हिट हो गया
रीड कर रहा है ये सेंसर
हिट कर रहा है
रीड
शुक्र है कोई तो हुआ
प्लेयर ऑल इन
Abhinav Iyer has decided to move all in with pocket sixes, and Alok having king jack off.
सेकंड प्लेयर ऑल इन
Arsh moving on.
Waking up with ace king and going all in, and this allows Alok to get away from that hand. Very critical hand. Both top level players in the form of Arsh and Abhinav going all in there. Wow. A king was folded by Alok. And 2 diamonds. Oh, he's got too many outs there. Any ace.
7 outs. 7 live outs. But he doesn't know that.
Oh, there's a 4 diamond there.
Well,
There seems to be some confusion. And a 6 would have helped him to. He had a redraw to a full house, but that's why you're making a quick exit there in 8th position. He was ahead, but the board was such that the flush draw got completed on the turn. And listen, the ace king of diamonds for Arsh. Cracking the pocket sixes there from Abhinav Iyer, and he says bye to this final table in 8th position for 4.97 lakh, which basically means everyone's now guaranteed 5.64 lakh. And with that, listen, Arsh Grover has picked up and chipped up.
we've seen our first elimination, Prajit. Abhinav Iyer going home with 4.97 lakhs. All the players that are remaining on this final table have like guaranteed 5.64 lakhs, around 70,000 jump that we've just witnessed.
Listen, the scary bit is Arsh Grover now has more chips. And we also have Iyer out of the table, which, I mean, everyone's going to be happy to see his back.
I don't know what's wrong with me or my picks. They always seem to knock out to get knocked out first.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm winning a bunch of goodies or whatever from Akshay at the end of this commentary session in the next few days.
next time I'm sure
Ali with an ace in his hand. He must be happy with the pay jump because he was a short stack.
there's a mark of the deck
Just make sure that doesn't come back.
make sure it's gone out of the window
Show TD को दिखाओ.
फाइनली कोचिंग इसको चिप कर सकते हाँ करूँगा बट ऐसे वहाँ पर सुनाई दो बराबर
I believe one of the cards in this deck was, I mean, twisted a bit, and because it's an RFID deck, we need to re-register another deck to the table, which basically takes anything between 3 to 5 minutes. And so essentially it's going to take about 3 to 5 minutes for them to re-register this particular RFID deck. And as we were discussing yesterday as well, players while lifting their cards reach a situation where the card sometimes gets bent, and with that basically what essentially happens is that it creates a situation where there's some sort of a read for other players to know that this is the bent card, and they all have a basic idea of what that particular card is. It gives them an edge on the table. So from that point of view, a deck needs to be replaced, and on an RFID table, every card in the deck has a chip in it, right? For that, they have to re-register it with the system. That's the reason why it takes another 3 to 5 minutes. Let's just quickly talk about the 1 lakh buy-in final table that we're actually watching here of the Highroller and the India Poker Championship Megastacks. Abhinav Iyer, we just lost him. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, he was my pick, and I'm just gonna move along to the main event. We have Shardul on our screens fighting on the main event 1A. And we can see Anand Purohit on the
There's
background
been
as
an all-in on the
well.
jam, most likely between Anant and Shardul there.
We see Gokul Raj, who's a birthday boy today. Siddhant Kapoor in the background. So there's a lot of regs that are here fighting in the main event, fighting in the Highroller.
And Abhinav Iyer just
Iyer.
got busted.
Back to him, back to Abhinav Iyer busting first from the final table. I mean, he was literally handcuffed, didn't have many hands, and he seemed a little bit
he
frustrated.
went ahead. He went ahead with his pocket sixes, to be honest. Fair play to him. I'm not sure if Alok would have made that call with his king jack in that particular spot, but Arsh waking up with ace king of diamonds is just an extremely strong hand. He rejams there in that situation. He obviously does not want Alok to be involved in that pot, and too strong of a hand. Pre-flop, if you saw, considering that a king had been folded here and there, Alok had a king in his hand. The ace king had a lot lesser equity, around 30% equity there in that situation against the pocket sixes. Sixes was a favorite, but he completed his flush. He still had a redraw to hit a 6 and complete his full house. That wasn't a B, so we lost him in 8th position. He should be proud and happy of himself because he's still taking down 4.97 lakh. But we are now down to 7 players in this particular tournament.
And we are definitely going to see more of Iyer in this whole series. And, I was a little bit surprised that Arsh decided to go all in because, yes, Alok has been opening quite wide there, but he might have a strong premium hand like queens, kings, and aces. And considering that you have so many chips, you really don't want to go against a guy who the only guy who covers you on the final table. So
yes,
if
there is some bit of risk in it, but considering he had ace king there and he's blocking 50% of the pocket ace combos and 50% of the pocket king combos, he would have felt comfortable. Of course, there are queens there, but does he actually force Alok to fold hands like ace queen in that situation by rejamming ace king?
I think Alok would probably fold ace queen there for sure because when Arsh decides to jam, he's repping 10s plus. And then you have your ace king there. So against that range, I think ace queen doesn't perform that well.
Absolutely.
And I believe that if Arsh had a hand like pocket 9s, pocket 8s, he might have just called and keep the pot built a bit small. But when he decides to jam, it's quite strong. So versus that range, I wouldn't be surprised if Alok actually decides to fold pocket 10s and even jacks,
because he knows for a fact that somebody is rejamming.
Yep.
So they anyways have to have a very strong range. But more importantly, they're rejamming knowing the fact that Alok has opened. There's already a jam by Abhinav Iyer, who's also not going to be light because he's been card dead for a while and then he decides to finally put in his chips for his tournament life. So he's going to have a decent hand himself, and then a rejam looks extremely strong in that situation, right? So from that point of view, ace king going all in and running it against the sixes and getting it through is a good thing for Arsh, and which basically means he's also chipped up and picked up another 1.3 million from Abhinav and the other change already in the pot. I think he should be close to 6.5 million at this point in time. And with Alok at 15 million, these two accumulatively have most of the chips in play at this point in time. Let's go back to the live action because the deck has been registered and we have Nikita Luther under the gun with a 10-9 off.
All in.
We have Siddhant now with his 6 big blind stack with the ace-10 of spades going all in. Arsh looking down at King Jack, asking for a count. He has 6.4 million. He knows this jam is for 6 big blinds. Should he be calling? Should he be folding? He's on the button with King Jack off. Let's that go.
नली टिक्की नहीं होती मेरे पास मैं बताता नली टिक्की नहीं होती मेरे पास मैं बताता भाई भाई तुम देखो
Small big.
Anuj under the gun. He has 15 big blinds, enough playability there with his king 5 off. Letting it go. Done with the king 3 this time around, obviously not wanting to play that hand.
It seems like Ali is having a lot of fun playing on this final table.
Yeah, he's also having fun despite being the short stack. And plus, I believe, I'm not sure if it's his big blind or not.
Ali mentioning that he's already paid for the big blind and ante, so he has a whole round and even more,
has gone
more than
all
a
in.
round even at times.
He's got pocket fours. Ali actually not picking up anything. Nikita with the ace-6. Lets that hand go. She understands that Ali is a very short stack. There were literally under 2 big blinds
All
left.
the whites for you, bro. White chips, white jacket, white this, grease calling, lot of souvlaki, and other things which I'll tell
सफेदी
you
सफेदी हर तरफ
off stream. मैं भी
दीवारें भी सफेद लोग भी सफेद
Do you think they have issues
साफ
with the
सफाई
RFID shuffling or it's always
Small, big.
So they're like thicker cards. They're harder to.
Stan folding his ace-5 and Faiz also waking up with his ace-5.
no banter, no fun, bro.
Folding that hand,
It's my
Arsh with
dream
his
one day to
king-6.
just sit on a table with Daniel Negreanu and play and just battle with him. उसको लगे कि हिंदुस्तान में कोई ऐसा लड़का है जो बड़बड़ करता है मेरे जैसा थोड़ा बहुत.
Siddhant expressing his dream that he really wants to sit on a table with Daniel Negreanu and wants to tell that, you know, us Indians
They're all in.
do also have those speaking capabilities that he does
Alok
have.
just jammed his 10-6 there, applying max pressure knowingly is so short that becomes very difficult for players to just call him there considering the ICM and the virtually free pay jump that's available for them because they've all been guaranteed 5.64 lakh, but the next pay jump is approximately 90,000 rupees to 6.51 lakh.
Well, Ali has around 1.5 big blinds. So, I mean, and Alok there has around 50% of the stacks in play.
More than that now.
Yeah.
More than that, he's got more than 17 million. And he can literally toy with people except for somebody like an Arsh here. And listen, if you get Anuj with some chips, we're going to see some massive fireworks on this final table.
Fold. Fold. They're all in.
Alok not even looking down at his cards, just going all in, applying max pressure. Ali this time around with his 1.5 big blinds with the king 7. Is he going to go for it or not? He's thinking about it,
I mean, he's got 1.5 big blinds.
but he still has an orbit. He
He's like,
does
let's
go
gamble.
all in.
स्टैक देख के मेरे को बहुत
Oh, 7 is dead, but the diamonds are also cut there.
One second, Anand.
On your back. Card.
King 7 versus 8-3. Now, this time around, Ali should be happy looking down his cards.
We see Aly Goni all in for all the chips with King 7 suited.
The board
Versus
is
8-3 of
ace
diamonds.
9. Those 2 clubs on that board. He needs an 8 or a 3. Deuce again. Now a 9 is going to help chop the pot. 8 on the river, and that ends the journey for Aly Goni there. We've lost one of our celebrities from this final table. He's gone out in 7th position for 5.64 lakh. You really can't blame him. Listen, he put in his money with higher amount of equity, with being ahead of Alok there, and Alok spiking that 8 on the river and ending short Ali's journey. And with that, we all have another pay jump, and we're down to 6 players really quickly. We lost 2 players, and Abhinav Iyer and Ali really fast, and we're down to 6 players, and now they're all guaranteed 6.51 lakh rupees. You're watching the final table of the India Poker Championship Megastacks Highroller at Casino Vegas by Big Daddy in Nepal.
Aly Goni going home with a smiling face, and just not smiling face, Prajit. He's going home with 5.64 lakhs.
Yeah, heavier wallet for sure.
हाँ वही है फिर भी वो
Just be careful when you deal it. Box के ऊपर से ना जाए.
next hand ठीक छ यार त्यो नहीं
Last hand just gave more chips to Alok, giving
Yeah,
him
I
more arsenal.
I mean, like he needed some more. We're on the 41st hand of this final table.
More the merrier, Prajit.
Yep.
All in.
I mean, eventually, if he wants to win it, he wants all the chips on him. He's now just open jamming all of his hands, and this time around, Anuj Yadav has woken up with pocket jacks, and he's gonna have our look extremely dominated.
all in
Anuj has gone all in.
If Alok wins this one, then it's his tournament to win, I guess.
I mean, it still is his tournament to win, but this is exciting news. Oh my God, Faiz waking up with this king there. This could just, oh my God, 3 players gone all in. Now this could just be free pay jumps for a lot of people if Alok just manages to win this hand somehow. Look at them all get up. All of them are excited for these pay jumps.
Alok needs to hit a straight or 2 nines.
The board has 3-3-7. That's a very safe board for the pocket jacks. Faiz at this point in time is at risk.
We
It's
see
an ace.
on the turn.
Oh my God. That could mean a triple up for Faiz there. And the deuce, that is a triple up for Faiz there in that situation. He's going to move up to 2.8 million. Anuj Yadav doesn't really lose much. He started the hand with 2.4 million, but he wins the side pot from Alok, and is still at 2.5 million this one in time.
I think
The one-
Anuj is gonna have around 1.2 maybe, because he's got 2.5 million
And he's
Faiz
given
has
about 1.1
1.8,
million.
1.9
No,
to Faiz.
1.1 million.
1.1?
1.1, 1.2
Oh, yeah.
million to Faiz, and the other half of it is doubled up. So he's basically should have somewhere close to 2.4 million there. Faiz triples up to 4.3.
Happy for my man.
Yeah, and
Getting a
Alok
triple up.
takes a small hit and goes down to 16 million. Look at that. Split screen view of Faiz, Alok, and Anuj. Then we have our dealer obviously sorting out everything, because it's a 3-way pot with a side pot. It tends to have some level of confusion attached to it. But
So we're gonna have a main pot and a side pot for this hands. So Faiz is gonna have the main pot, and Anuj will win a side pot.
from Alok.
11.75 मिला इधर how much did you go 13.25 दिया 13.25 इधर दिया 11.75 1 लाख चलो
4 बिक्स
1 लाख 1.5
10 बिक्स आप फोल्ड कर
1.5 लॉस हुए वो
नहीं
1,50,000 लॉस हुए
हाउ कैन यू फोल्ड एस किंग 10 बिक्स
स्मॉल
मैं 30 बिक्स नहीं फोल्ड 30 बिक्स तो होते तो
Siddhant sharing some poker strategy with Faiz Alam.
125, 250. Raise 5.
Alok now opting to raise here instead of just open jamming. Anuj with his ace deuce. Faiz actually spoiling Anuj's party there. Anuj would have had picked up a lot of chips and gotten a full double up there and would have been close to 5 million chips, and it would have been an interesting final table. But listen, is what it is. Faiz Alam tripling up. And Alok still chipping up, back to 17 million.
Small, big.
$3 million हो गए
4 4 1
Queen 8 suited for Anuj Yadav on hijack. Playing around 10 bigs. What's the play here, Prajit?
See, I mean, considering there are shorter stacks on the table, I'd like to not play that hand in this situation. Otherwise, I know him for a fact that that's the sort of hand that if he had 30 big blinds there, he'd be applying a bunch of pressure on opening that hand. Playable, but will not, considering these dynamics. Siddhant there with about 5 big blinds going all in, and Faiz also has a pretty playable hand, but since there's already been an all in, it becomes very difficult to play that ace-5 suited.
I think if Faiz is sitting on the big blind, he makes the call. But if he's sitting on the button, I don't think he can make that call. Especially there are two stacks that cover him.
Alok also lets it go. He had about 1 million more to call with, but he opted out. We also saw him give a lot of respect to Siddhant previously when Siddhant had jammed pocket fours and Alok folded king queen.
I think it's beneficial for Alok to
have a short
keep
stack around.
Siddhant in the game so that he can put pressure on the middle stacks and he can slowly bleed out.
Obviously, that was the sound of a thunderstorm, and that's something that we did not artificially create here. And we're sitting indoors, but the Shah, the thunderstorm, is quite big here in Nepal. We saw one and we faced one yesterday as well. Anuj, now Siddhant waking up with jacks and just quickly going on in. And he's whistling the winds of change there.
I believe Siddhant mentioned that he likes music, he likes singing.
Yeah.
And
He's now singing as well. He was... To the winds of change. All right, sing along, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
wish I could, but I'm a really bad singer.
All right, Siddhant chipping up to 2.5 million. He's now back up to 10 big blinds.
Picking up 2 pots back to back.
So there's commentary and all going on.
He's got a beautiful voice, I can say that.
And yeah, I mean,
Players talking about the commentators.
does he have his hand injured there? I mean,
I think so because I think he's got I saw it even last month that he had a strap on his hand. We see that players are talking about the commentators. So in the booth you have me, Akshay Kapoor, and along with me we have Prajit Gambhir, the brain behind PSL. PSL Learn. PSL Learn.
Hashtag poker and hashtag production and Poker Sports League. Hashtag Productions also the company behind the overall production and streaming of this event.
Arsh Grover sitting with a suited ace in cut-off position decides to fold.
letting that hand go.
This is the first time we see Alok fold on the button.
Yeah. And he wasn't feeling it. Didn't want to play that 4 deuce.
Nikita Luther has 8-5 suited in small blind. The shortest stack on the table. Decides to give up her small blind.
Small, big.
Six people remaining on this final table of Indian Poker Championship Megastacks. Right here in Casino Vegas.
आपको पड़ा
Nikita Luther with 7-6 suited on the button.
Clear all in.
Having around 7 bigs, decides to jam. And takes the pot down with 7 high, Prajit.
Absolutely. Forcing people to play for their entire stack. We're going to cut out for our first interview.
So here we have our first elimination from the final table, Mr. Abhinav Iyer. So please tell us about your hand. What happened?
So I've started the final table in a good position, but unfortunately couldn't get any hands going. So that's how it works. Sometimes the chip leader had a lot of chips, and the ICM in the situation was in a way that I couldn't play so many hands. So unfortunately, it didn't work out for me this time. But we live to fight another day and play another tournament tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully do something better next time.
Well, yes, we should always look on the brighter side, and on a positive note, there are other tournaments as well. I wish you all the luck for that as well. But let us know about your overall experience with IPC. How was that?
My overall experience has been great. It's always been great whenever I've come to an IPC event. Unfortunately, I could come only for this tournament a couple of days this time, and I'm flying out tomorrow morning. But yeah, it was a great experience. It's a new location. None of us have come here before. Like almost 80% of the population here has never come here before. So it's fun times, exciting, where you get to go to a new place and then figure out their own local culture.
I was just coming to that because after 2 years we've come to Nepal. So how do you like the place, and everything is just so new, you know? How do you find the vibe here?
So the vibe here is really, really good. Like I feel that everyone's having a good time because everyone's getting to do what they want to do, and you don't have to get onto a ship to go into, like, you don't have to get onto a boat to get into a feeder, into a ship. So everyone's excited about that. Like, you don't have to waste 1 hour of your day just like planning your travel out and like going to another place, like going to the ship or something like that. So yeah, that's been a great experience, and I would definitely come here again once they announce the next one over here.
Great. Like you said, you're leaving tomorrow, so you will not be attending any other tournaments after this?
Unfortunately, I have some work back home in Mumbai, and this which takes much more, which is actually more important than a poker tournament. so yeah, like I just hopefully come again. Hopefully this IPC will come again to Jhapa soon, so we could play the next time.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the luck for the future.
Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Back to the action. 6-handed play.
Nikita Luther just not representing Spartan Poker, but also representing women in poker. A fierce competitor. Anuj Yadav, the young gun of India. Siddhant Kapoor, a DJ, a celebrity, and a poker player.
Absolutely. You can see the fighting spirit in him. Anuj on the hijack.
This man has some chips now, Prajit. This is what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, but still, those chips look a lot, but they're still under 10 big blinds. Siddhant on the cutoff with 8 bigs. Little under 8 bigs there.
Players have to be really careful jamming on Alok's big blind because he has a lot of chips and he can make those wild calls versus these jams. So they have to be really tight when it comes to jamming on Alok's big blind because he has the leeway to be wrong. Siddhant Kapoor with 10-8 suited, cut-off position. We know that he's a Daniel Negreanu's fan and Daniel Negreanu's favorite hand is 10-7.
Yeah.
Well, 10-8 is not far from 10-7.
Let's it go though. Thought about it for a minute. King Queen with pairs on the button. After his triple up. He's got some chips to play with.
Faiz here has the maximum pressure among all the players because he's third in chips. Arsh sitting next to him is in second in chips, and then we have Alok Birewar who has like half the chips or maybe like 70% of the chips.
I don't
So
understand what he should do here. I mean, he's definitely not. He definitely wants to play this hand.
he can start limping. That is a strategy that I might develop, having these players on, sitting yet to act. This is probably, I think Faiz is giving something away
Yeah, and
when he
he's
starts
folded
looking at
that
other
hand.
stacks. Because if you have aces, I don't think you'll look at the smaller stacks. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I'm not sure. But if you do it with King Queen suited, Alok will definitely notice that and make the use of the information.
A lot of people who back home are thinking why he folded his king queen because he understands that he could face a lot of pressure, and in this situation when he is third in chips and he's got 3 players under him in terms of stack depth, he needs to basically keep that in mind and obviously play a lot tighter than you would expect from the button.
All in.
They're all in.
अरे यार.
We see Siddhant Kapoor moving all in with ace-2 suited in hijack position. And we see Arsh Grover waking up with ace-10 off on
Last
the
time
button.
around, I think he had a king jack there, which he decided to fold, and he's roughly taking account there.
1.8. I'll have coffee. Black coffee.
Siddhant definitely seems confident with his hand.
Because
ordering
he's already
coffee.
ordering a coffee, yeah.
अरे यार मैं मस्ती नहीं कर रहा हूँ यार, इस टाइम एक ही दिखा इसलिए अपने कॉन्फिडेंटली कॉफी भी मंगा ली.
Yeah. Some psychological gameplay happening there. If he would have received a call, Arsh would have been really, really ahead.
wonder they keep saying young gun. Young gun 3 साल पहले था. Two people they keep calling young gun, you and Arsh. Arsh तो अभी भी बच्चा है.
26.
15 you started playing 15, no? Or what, 14? 11? Boss. That's a very hard age to start playing poker, yeah. That's amazing. But समझना वो टाइम पर. अच्छा मेरे को तब इसके बराबर खेल. मैं रूल्स सीखा.
Action is folded to Nikita Luther in small blind, and she has ace-9 offsuit.
Looks like a very strong hand to just rip it in against the big blind.
They're all in.
She does exactly that, and she has gone all in. And is Anuj going to wake up with something? Nope, he does have nothing on him. That's a fold. I believe there's a problem with the graphic. He has not called there. He's folded his 8 deuce.
Can we just go split it and go home and sleep? Fine.
Pairs under the gun with King Jack.
हम साथ में
Arsh with pocket queens.
Or
this-
they call as mamacitas these days.
I'm not sure who's calling them mamacitas, but sure, I wouldn't mind that. The poker lingo has also evolved a bunch, man. From pretty ladies to mamacitas. I don't know where we're headed now. Another 5 years, I don't know what we'd be calling them. And all of this conversation is with all due respect. Just want to bring that to the notice, Siddhant, on the big blind with the nothing. Folding it. Arsh chipping up to 5.8 million. One. 11.
1 o'clock.
Alok back to his old ways, raising to 500.
Alok back from the break.
And Nikita, this time around, she's going to be ripping it in one more time with her pocket nines and stealing some more blinds from Alok.
They're all in.
तुम्हें ही कुछ करना पड़ेगा हाँ hectic thundering huh
Small sir, big blind. Thank you. 125.
Nikita in hijack position, waking up with ace-5 offsuit. Having around 15 big blinds. Taking a conservative route and deciding to fold ace-5 offsuit.
all in
They're
Fair
all
play
in.
to her. Siddhant wakes up with a better ace. Goes all in and pairs this time around as King Jack. I don't know if he'll be able to call there, but nope. Lets that go. Arsh on the big blind with King 7.
1.4 1.5
No, that's closer to 1.9.
6 players left on this final table that we have for you. We have Anuj Yadav, Nikita Luther, Siddhant Kapoor, Alok Birewar, Arsh Grover, and Faiz Alam fighting for 43 lakhs up top for the winner.
Hello, you want to take a nap?
Take no. You're used to it, right? You mentioned you passed it a couple of times. Can that be another time in life also that you do it?
Too much adrenaline.
Shall we? Too much adrenaline. Wait, I'll give you something. It'll knock you out. You'll feel really good. Trust me.
Mr. Kapoor folding it there. Faiz Alam on the button with King 4.
Oh, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'm going to the spa, Jack. They have a very good
Arsh.
spa.
Small blind versus big blind against Alok. A very playable hand with his queen jack off. What is he planning to do here?
Seriously. It's not the same. It's not the same. But now my achievement, I want to achieve at least half of what I used to be.
We might see Arsh Grover just complete his small blind versus the chip leader, Alok.
But what's your strategy when you get raised? You're most likely limp calling with this hand because it's strong.
Yep. But Alok's gonna realize that Arsh has given him a lot of walks, so he's gonna be quite careful. I mean, he has a hand that he can ISO or check back. Both options are fine. Decides to check back with ace-6 offsuit in the big blind.
Ace-6 offsuit. And it's an ace-high board, but here's the thing. It could spell trouble for Arsh Grover because there's a queen on that board as well.
Something for both the players.
Absolutely. Top pair versus second pair. Arsh looking down at his option. Decides to check it. He's definitely going to be calling if there's a bet coming in from Alok. He's not check folding there. He's not check folding at all, but it's a check. Very deceptively played hand by Alok as well.
Arsh might think he has the best hand in pre-flop because
Absolutely.
he would think that if Alok had an ace, he would have ISO'd pre-flop. Or if he had an ace, he would bet the flop. Alok realizing that Arsh does have a lot of ace-x in his range, also checking back, playing the slow
checks
ball.
again. And he's obviously understands that he does not want to bloat the pot against the chip leader there, and Alok putting in a bet
Yes, Nikki, you're looking very nice. Don't worry.
of 500.
Say you're finding yourself on TV.
500,000 there. I mean, I don't think Arsh is going anywhere at this point in time because on a paired board, Queen Ace 8-8, he knows very well that his queen pair along with the 8s would just be great. Another 8 would create issues. Oh, another queen.
Arsh making a full house on the river.
Absolutely. This just turned around for Arsh in his favor. We were talking about him almost losing some chips in his hand, but he's now guaranteed to win chips, and he has checked to Alok, who's not
Arsh
thinking.
Laying down the trap for Alok to bite.
And he checked it back. Wow. Wow, Alok sensing the danger there and knows that he got flopped out on basically the queen on the river just basically did not go in his favor. Otherwise, he had the hand locked up.
Fucking 85 million. First spot I want from you, I think. I know I'm not supposed to win even one, but still. Bro, but do you have any idea how many traps I'm gonna have? First hand I've done. Like I've folded 5 small blinds to you.
As I mentioned before, Arsh letting Alok know that I've given you 5 walks. You know that how many traps I'm gonna have when I limp from the small blind.
Yeah, and And Alok is also saying he knows that his check back on the flop was beautiful there, and he laid the trap for him as well. Just the run out not going in his favor there.
Smallest that pot could have been.
Showing the experience that both Arsh and Alok has.
Copy.
You get paid if the river is not a,
Yeah.
like, depending on how much you bet, of course.
Siddhant Kapoor with around 12 bigs, having Queen 10 suited in hijack position. Beautiful hand to shove, but he decides to play coy and folds his hand.
Whatever you got for her, get for me also. Acha, nice.
All in.
Alok's gone all in from the blind.
Yes, bro.
Okay, next call. क्या डाला ऑलर?
Tough to get them.
मुझे तो तीन दिख रहे हैं. थका हुआ उसके लिए.
A funny banter being shared between Alok and Siddhant. I'm pretty sure, Prajit, that Alok is gonna jam around 95% of his holdings from small blind against Nikki.
And even Nikita has to wake up with a pretty good hand there in order to be calling Alok, considering the different stack depths on this table and other dynamics as well. At this point in time, guys, we're down to 6 players and they're all guaranteed 6.5 lakh at least. But they're all playing for the winning position with that elusive trophy and the 43 lakh and some change that comes along with it. Jack 10,
They're all in.
beautiful hand to go all in with. He has gone all in from the button. He's going to ask Nikita the question, and so and the same question applies to Anuj as well. Would he want to call with that Queen 5? I'm assuming not. But he is fairly short now with about under 5 big blinds there.
I am about 2.2.
Anuj Yadav spends a lot of time in the lab, so he just wants to make sure what the different stack size is, because it's going to help him make a decision here whether to call a shove by Alok or not. Because here Anuj does know that Alok is going to be jamming quite wide and he has a suited queen,
Yeah.
but the stack sizes doesn't allow him to call with Queen 5 suited here versus Alok's jam.
So basically by folding twice, you're saying I'm not jamming any 2 in any 2 spot, which makes the range tighter than any 2, which shifts calling range a bit. And that's
Players sharing a bit of strategy among themselves, talking about how the calling and the jamming range change depends on how your opponents perceive your range to be.
Faiz under the gun with the ace-9, letting it go. Arch with the 8-3. Alok with the pocket kings. He's been just open jamming bunch of the times. Is he going to open jam again and be balanced?
That's a 250.
He just decides to open up. Very strong hand with his pocket kings. Now after jamming a bunch, he's just decided to open up with this hand.
वही बोल रहा है ना. आप तो अपने पास ही रखते थे हमारे से. पता है इसकी कीमत क्या बहुत ज़्यादा है.
No other player picking up a hand that they can call against Alok's open.
Alok would have been hoping that Nikita jammed again because she's done that thrice, and all 3 times Alok didn't have much and he had to surrender to Nikita's jam. This time around he had the kings. Pocket 7s under the gun for Arsh. Six-handed, a very strong hand to play.
I really want to see Arsh open here and Alok having ace 5 suited.
Yeah, I mean, that's just asking for trouble.
Yep. I want to, like, you do want to see some fight back between two of the stack sizes that are very close. Not close to each other, like in number 1 and number 2 position.
Opening up at 500,000, and Alok does have a decent hand. Is he going to try and apply pressure on Arsh? Because, you know, in terms of risk premium, it's the highest for Arsh right now, considering he's second in chips.
Alok has all the options here. He can call, he can 3-bet, and he can actually fold also.
He's folded in this situation, does not want to get involved. Feels that. And Nikita also folded a king jack really, really quickly. There, Anuj folding his hand, and Siddhant also letting go of his 10-6 with Faiz on the big blind with 9-3.
Is it still raining? Still pouring?
Faiz really giving this a thought with his 9-3. Little surprise there.
Part of the game, you don't have to apologize. We do it online too. Everyone does.
We have 2 minutes 52 seconds to go. Are you having a cinnamon
Don't
one?
worry about it.
I'll take later. When we sit after the break, I'll take one.
Alok under the gun with pocket tens. Very, very strong hand. Opens up to 500. Nikita folding Anuj. This is trouble for Anuj. This is absolute trouble for Anuj. He's gone all in with his pocket sixes. And Siddhant also looking for a count there with his ace-8.
Level.
He covers Anuj because he has 1.9 and knows that he must be thinking that Alok is opening any 2. Anuj is jamming, and there's my ace-8 good against Anuj's jam. He does have him covered, but at this point in time, lets it go. Faiz with the 5-4, getting out of the way. Arsh 2, and Alok quickly making the call. It's 6s versus 10s, and this is looking very, very bleak in terms of his expectations for Anuj Yadav here.
ब्लाइंड फोल्ड स्मॉल ब्लाइंड फोल्ड किया तब मैंने हैंड नहीं देखा तब अगर कोई खड़ा हो तो पता नहीं
तब उनके पास kings थे.
Anuj needs a 6.
A 6 only at this point in time.
Stay in the
10s versus
game.
6s. It's a 7-9 ace board, 2 diamonds. There's no 6 of diamonds that he has. An ace again, a 6 and a 6 only now. Otherwise, we will lose him in 6th position. Can he hit the 6 on the river? No, he can't. It's the ace and the pocket 10s hold there, and they win. That's a wrap for Anuj Yadav there. He did chip up, he did pick up some chips, but listen, he couldn't do much because he was always very, very, very short, and he lost his pocket 6s against pocket 10s of Alok Birewar. The chip leader picks up some more chips, and Anuj Yadav has gone and cashed 6,51,000 for himself, which means that each of these 5 players are guaranteed 7,85,000 at least.
Anuj came on this final table as a shorter stack, going in 6th position, taking home 6.51 lakhs.
आप हैंड भी
स्क्रीन पे देख लेना, मैंने फोल्ड किया इक्का 8. वाओ, ट्रिपल अप था यार. इक्का कॉल कर देता हूं. गाली देता हूं.
12 by
हरि ओम जगह.
if you go all in
You You and me, even I'm in jammers. We are the jammers. We are going on a break now.
Ace-7
All
offsuit.
in.
And Siddhant going all in from cutoff with Ace-10.
Chalo, all in. If you win, it's a big thing. Either go home or come back.
Gonna happen anyway.
Count दे दो भाई को. अर्श भाई count मांगो.
I don't think Alok is going to make this call with his King 9.
18 है सर.
1.718.
Cheers, brother.
We're going to go in for a break, guys. In this hand, we saw Siddhant go all in and chip up to 2.5 million. We're going to see you guys later on the other side of this break. We're down to 5-handed play. The business end of this final table for the Highroller at the India Poker Championship Megastacks is still going. We're going to see you on the other side.
अरे कपड़ा तो पहना हूँ. ये रॉन्ग म्यूजिक है. कौनो फिरकी ले रहा है. ये हमरा प्रॉपर्टी है. ये हमरा प्रॉपर्टी है.
ओए ओए खापी के
हाँ?
ये तुम्हारी प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है, ये आईपीसी की ट्रॉफी है.
देखिए भाई साहब,
हाँ?
इसको जीतने के लिए आपको खेलना पड़ेगा एक अद्भुत खेल, पोकर. पोकर समझते हैं ना? पोकर. आए.
अच्छा, ये पोकर का होता है. इन लोगों का हाथ पकड़ के डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं ससुरा.
समझ गए भाई साहब. आए
हम खेलेगा, हम खेलेगा.
तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं अपना पहला पड़ाव.
अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो? कहाँ बैठे हो? किसके साथ खेल रहे हो? कंट्रोल कंट्रोल खुदाई कंट्रोल. किसकी चांस है?
मजनू आली रे आली, आता तुझी बारी आली. अबे मुर्गी के कौन है बे तू? जिस पे है दम पत्ते लगाओ किंग हम. अबे किंगडम की थर्ड कॉपी. तेरी तकदीर अच्छी है, क्योंकि जिस दिन अपन चिप्स उठाता है उस दिन गन नहीं उठाता, वरना अभी तक तो तेरी वाट लग चुकी होती.
स्वागत नहीं करोगे हमारा?
अरे भाई वेलकम वेलकम.
ये क्या है?
लाइव पोकर पेंटिंग. अरे इसी के लिए तो मैंने सब फुलझड़ी को बुलाया है.
अच्छा. कमाल करते हो यार.
झकास.
सर रेखा.
रेखा किधर है? रेखा रेखा.
अरे रेखा के आगे रखिए ना सर.
आए. जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल रखेंगे. क्यों नहीं रखेंगे? हाँ, वैसे आपने भी अच्छी राय दी है. समझ गए कि नहीं समझे? समझ गए आप तो. अरे ये सब तो चाय का पानी है. गॉड फोल्ड ऑल इन.
इसका हाथ.
डॉन का पकड़ना मुश्किल नहीं, नामुमकिन है. मगर भाई साहब, ओ भाई साहब, ओ मगर असली डॉन तो मैं.
ठप्पा कहाँ है? कहाँ है ठप्पा? ठप्पा कहाँ है? कहाँ है ठप्पा?
पता नहीं. इनको मजाक सोच रहा है, मैं हार रहा हूँ.
ये ससुरा फिरकी ले रहा है का?
कब आएंगे अच्छे पत्ते? सुबह से ना किंग बटा है ना बटा है आधा.
तो फिर फाड़ के फेंक दो एक गड्डी और पहन लो लूजर का पट्टा अपने गले में.
अरे लूजर बोला? अरे मुझे गुस्सा आता तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, बता इसे जरा.
मेरा एक हाथ नकली है. मैं पोकर का बहुत बड़ा खिलाड़ी था, लेकिन भाई ने एक दिन टिल पे आके दांतों से मेरा हाथ काट दिया, लेकिन दिल के बहुत अच्छे. कभी कभी कुछ जीतने के लिए कुछ हारना भी पड़ता है, और हार कर जीतने वाले को स्पार्टन कहते हैं। अबे बिना देख के हाउस गेम, तू क्या खर्चा पानी? डर गया?
अरे ये तो लुल प्लेयर है। ई रहा हमरा कॉल।
ब्लफ था।
हमरा कलर है, हमरा कलर है।
अरे ये तो मेरी गेम बजाने में लगा।
जीत गया हम।
बहुत ही उम्दा खेल रहे हैं आप। ये
पोकर में कलर नहीं, फ्लश बोलते हैं।
बोलो जुबा पोकरी। अनोखा स्वाद, क्या बात है। चलिए खेलिए। हाँ खेलिए। वेरी गुड। ला 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 ला।
ये मेरा कॉल। थप्पड़ से डर लगता है?
सेल्फ डिफेंस।
अबे सुन, हम तुमको इतना ब्लफ करेंगे, कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे कि मग कहां से करें और कहां से।
अच्छे पत्ते आ गए पापा। नट्स है। कॉल। I win. कॉल पे कॉल मिलता है माय लॉर्ड, लेकिन पॉट नहीं मिलता। मैं आज भी फेंके हुए चिप्स नहीं उठा था।
ले लीजिए ना सर।
नो। क्यों टाक? नो मीन्स नो। कोई बात नहीं, मैं उठा लेता हूं। मुझे हैंडपंप लगवाना है। यह अशरफ अली का श्राप है। और जब यह 2.5 किलो का हाथ किसी पे पड़ेगा ना।
अरे लुल ससुरा, तुम अपना हाथ दो।
हाथा बाजी सटकली।
अरे तेरी, अरे कैसन गोला है। यहाँ तो कौनो हाथे नहीं पकड़ने देता ससुरा। का करें दादाजी? लो हाथ दो। हाँ हाथ दो।
जाओ पहले उस आदमी को पकड़ो जिसने मेरे हाथ में ये लिख दिया। अरे भगवान का दिया हुआ सब कुछ है। दौलत है, शोहरत है, इज्जत है। कोविड अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है। सॉरी। बस बिग डैडी पर जाकर आईपीसी का टाइटल मिल जाए। मुझे लगता है अब घोड़ों की रेस में गधे भी दौड़ेंगे। अरे मजनू चलता है तू मुझसे। कंट्रोल खुदाई कंट्रोल। बिग डैडी सुन के गोवा समझे क्या? गोवा नहीं, नेपाल है। आईपीसी फायर है। गेट इन द गेम साला।
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
are live, guys. That's the first hand after the break. We still have 500 action.
6 people, but Alok hasn't arrived on his seat.
It's 500
Oh, yeah, it's
only.
500.
It's 4 people currently, but yes, Alok hasn't arrived on his seat. Pocket fives. Siddhant, and Alok's hand has been auto-mucked because he's been late on coming to his seat.
Who was your second pick? Was Alok, and you picked somebody else, I believe.
I believe I picked Alok, and then you picked Arsh.
Yep.
And then
I picked Iyer, and
let me remind myself.
You picked Nikita.
I
You picked Nikita.
Yeah. So both my picks are in.
Just like
the mix.
yesterday.
And how many of your picks are in?
I mean, I just need one, right? You need one guy to win it all.
Start हो गया?
Just one hand you missed.
Bro,
Small
this
blind.
like इसकी वजह से
Pause करा देते हैं, बोल देते हैं.
I missed the hand because they were giving me this. It's not my mistake, right? I had to miss a hand, my small blind, because they're miking me. I should have paused the hand. But how is it my mistake?
Siddhant under the gun with pocket fives, rips it in. The blinds have gone up, 150, 300 with a 300,000 big blind ante there.
But yeah, I was here when the
Hold.
was coming to my seat.
Hold.
They stopped me with this to give me this. And because of that, I had to miss out. Everything is so short. Every hand is special.
हेलो काम वाला भाई एक और मिस हो जाएगा आ जाओ I think they should have coordinated and
Exactly.
pause the clock.
We have a zoom-in view of Spartan
Small big blind.
But it's not my mistake.
brand ambassador, Spartan Pro, Nikita Luther.
Ace-9 under the gun with
Big
Faiz.
blind would have heard the small blind.
150 man. Small blind.
Everyone folded. I think big blind would have heard those. Small blind is still.
But bro, yeah, like it's not my mistake.
So roll in.
That's an all-in here. He's got under 8 big blinds there.
Alok waking up with pocket eights.
He's
23,
definitely making this
25.
call.
23,25,000 all in.
The jam is for 8 bigs, and Alok makes the call.
Let's see what Nikita has. She's actually folded. Siddhant
Faiz needs to hit an ace or a 9.
Absolutely, it's a flip.
50-50.
2 overs versus lower pocket pair. Let's see the flop. It's an ace, ace-10 board. He needs an 8 to fill up.
And there's only 1 8 left in the deck.
Yep.
$23,25,000.
Faiz Alam getting the much needed double up with ace-9 offsuit.
Nice hand.
I think both rolling standard. Standard.
No. Here. 1.7.
A small dent on Alok's big stack.
Nothing behind.
So
If
big
I've
blind.
kept it like this, everyone
Thank you.
understands.
Arsh under the gun with king deuce off.
300 to go, sir.
Fold.
Raise 6 lakh.
Raises to 6 lakh. Nikita doesn't really have
Fold.
much there on the button. Neither does Siddhant.
Fold.
It's it's come down to Faiz now. Faiz just took another double up from Alok. He's picked up ace king again. He's most likely raising this hand.
They're
He's
all
gone
in.
all in. Snap
Fold.
fold by Alok.
I
No
believe
discussion.
Faiz is going to show his hand to Alok here, which he doesn't. So, yet
I
again,
don't really think he has a reason to give any sort of reads to Alok at this point in time. Alok anyways has all the chips in the world, and giving him more reads is only going to create, situations where Alok has a little extra edge over Faiz.
I just think I am just like a nice friend. Maybe I should change myself
Yeah.
when I'm on a poker table.
Big.
What do you think about wearing shades on a poker table, Rajat?
I mean, I personally never worn them, but I've got nothing against anyone wearing shades. A lot of people wear shades not necessarily because of the option of reading or being read by people, but they actually wear them of the lights that they have to play under. When you're on an RFID table, when it's being streamed, there are a lot of lights around you, and it causes a lot of distraction in your eyes, and a lot of people opt to wear shades or even a cap, primarily because of those reasons as well. Here we have Siddhant, who's gone all in
24
for
lakh.
8 big blinds.
24. Fold. Fold.
At this point in time, if you've observed, Faiz Alam very sneakily and slyly
Yeah, next time.
has now become the second.
Even I was thinking.
He's got the second highest chips in play at this point in time. He's moved up to 6 million, whereas Arsh is around 5.5 million.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Small, big.
Look at that. A split screen view of 4 players. Nikita looking down at her cards. She has a pretty strong hand. She's got 6 big blinds, a little over 6 bigs. A suited ace is a very, very, very strong hand in that spot. And I believe she is the shortest stack at this point in time. She does go all in with the race 6. Committing herself pocket 7s for Siddhant. I don't think he's going to get away from his hand himself. He's going to ask for a count and then maybe contemplate whether he wants to call or fold.
25,000 all in.
No.
He has, without looking for a count, just snap jammed there. And it's not looking good for Nikita here unless she hits an ace there. Or 7 and an ace are both eliminated because Arsh held them, and another ace 6 with Alok. And ace 6 versus pocket 7s. That's actually really, really, really tough for Nikita here because an ace, 2 aces have been folded, a 6 has also been folded. She only has
1 ace left, but
yeah,
she has
and
a
2
diamond.
sixes. She's got the diamonds alive.
Diamonds alive.
Oh, what a beautiful view there. You can see the players in play. It's between the 3 hearts. That does not help her. She needs an ace and an ace only at this point in time. The 10 is also not good. Is there an ace on the river? No, it's not. It's the 3 of hearts. That is it for Nikita Luther there. And she has gone all out in 5th position. Beautiful play. A very, very, very deep run for her yet again. And she's been coming in and putting in these performances time and again. And listen, big respect for her. All smiles. Greeting and meeting everybody like a professional poker player. She takes back home 7.85 lakh there. She must be really, really happy. And this brings us to the final 4 players on the table, with Siddhant also chipping up now, and there's enough depth in all 4 of those players, and now every one of these players is guaranteed upwards of 10 lakh, exactly 10.17 lakh. This was actually a pretty big jump from 7.85 to 10.17.
7 figures score, I believe. Yeah. We've just lost Prajit's pick, so a little bit happy that it's a fair fight between him and me, 1 versus 1.
Sure.
But a bit sad to see Nikki go out from this final table. I mean, she was repping female poker, females in the game of poker. She was repping Spartan. She was playing as Spartan Pro. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a little sad that we have to say goodbye to Nikki.
Yeah.
But down to 4 players, we have Faiz, we have Arsh, Alok, and Siddhant Kapoor.
Absolutely, and Alok picks up pocket tens on the small blind. Just taking a count from Siddhant, he should have somewhere close to 4.5 million at least. Yeah, around 4.5 million there.
750.
He
7,50,000
makes a raise to 7,50,000. The blinds are at 150, 300 with a 300,000 big blind ante. He has Jack 8 there. Does he want to defend? He actually has 5.3 million as per our graphics. He has already put in 300,000 in this spot as his big blind, another 300 as his ante. Let's go.
नहीं दिखा रहा हूँ
मैं गंदे हैंड्स खेलने नहीं वाला ले
Small big blind, sir. Table करने में
That's definitely for.
I think it's Siddhant.
No, it's Faiz. It's Faiz.
बोला लेकिन सबने वहाँ
just to see him.
Oh, I think it is Faiz because, well, like.
Oh yeah, the guy with the white hair I was talking about.
No, that was a different person. I know. मैं जाके राउंड मार के आया सबके बाल देख कर आया और देखा कौन सा बंदा कैसा कपड़े पहना था.
That's Kunal Patni right there.
Bro, I've been giving you luck since I've started playing.
I believe Kunal Patni has some sweats left on the final table and he's here to rail his boys, get a bit of extra money.
Shop है यार. I'll give you 2% good luck. I'll give you 2% good luck if I come first. Chal.
I believe Kunal has sweats from 3 out of 4 plays that is left, which is amazing. I mean, he's making money on the poker tables and he's making money off the poker tables.
इन्होंने भी देखा.
8-3 diamond. अरे hit is it.
Small.
अरे वो कार्ड देख रहा था ताकि लोगों को बुरा ना लगे. वो बस देख रहा था ताकि लोगों को बुरा ना लगे कि बिना देखे ओपन कर.
But you're not supposed to come here and say that. You know that, now? Huh? You know you're not supposed to come here and say that, right? Still.
हाथ गए बात गई.
300 to call, sir. Raise 6 lakh.
We see Kunal Patni on our screens now. We see Alok Birewar, correctly saying there, and we have Siddhant Kapoor on the screen as well. Arsh deciding what to do here from the big blind with King 5 offsuit against Alok, open from early position. Well, we saw yesterday that King 5 is a hand that people do like to 3-bet. And this is what we see today as well.
Yeah, and that's actually the first time he's really pushed back on Alok. And it's basically going to represent a lot of strength in Alok's mind.
Do you think Kunal walking on the final table telling other players that, Alok's been opening quite wide has something to do with this move?
No, I'm pretty sure Arsh would be aware of all of those dynamics himself, knowing the range. And with Kunal saying anything, that would have not made a difference to his overall strategy. He would have also been aware in the breaks of asking some of his friends of what exactly Alok was playing.
Alok sir. I'll keep it here. Small, big. So small brand 150. आपका
तो मैंने ही डाला
ये सर को
फोल्ड हो गया
फोल्ड सर
जरा स्ट्रेचिंग कर लो
फोल्ड
करेगा जस्ट स्टार्ट जिमनास्टिक्स क्लासेस
All the players will be forced to play against each other now because they can't just keep folding. They have equal amount of stacks, and we have one big stack.
call options
So we might see some pushbacks from other players other than Alok here.
yes sir 9
Alok
Nine lakh
eyes
is total.
showing from the big blind with
9
deuce
lakh
four
to call.
suited.
We actually don't know what Arsh's hand here is.
17
fold
Arsh quickly folds, lays it down.
jumble in my head करेंगे गोवा में करेंगे या परसों संडे करेंगे
so big blind
no but I'm saying I'm going to go back to
sir
let's see कितना डालना है
Alok with 16 million chips, Arsh in second position with 6.1, Faiz with 5.3 and Siddhant with 5.1.
let's see I want to stay on Monday but I'm just going to relax let's see
small big
We'll have to combine all the three players to make Alok stack here.
Yeah. He's literally got half
This
the
guy
chips
is
in
just
play.
relentless from the start of the final table to now. He just been relentless.
fold
फैज कितने चिप्स है आपके पास अप्रॉक्सीमेट 5.5 मिलियन ना ठीक है अप्रॉक्सीमेट ठीक है
fold 750,000 raise
Alok raising it up from the small blind to 7,50,000. Siddhant
Going for a
has an ace.
2.5x raise.
Siddhant the shortest stack on the table right now. It's got 15 big blinds behind. Lets it go.
fold
Decides to fold a 6 off.
we'll see on the street so hey
Every fold is a good fold. Every fold is a good fold.
small big blind sir
boss is go to Greece he had a jacket I had a white jacket or his white t-shirt
I am not KP.
Arsh under the
वाइट
gun.
वाली दो तीन वाइट वाले जो ड्रेस टॉप है फुल अंदर जाके आया हुआ है
300 to call sir raise 6 lakh 6
Arsh raising it up.
fold
Alok quickly folding, getting out of that hand. Siddhant with 9-4 off on the small blind.
fold
Faiz thinking whether he wants to defend this or not, thinks otherwise and folds.
Biggest luck box is already busted. Biggest luck box is already busted.
Who are we referring to? I'm not aware of who they're calling the biggest luck box here.
I think it is Kunal Patni that they're referring to. I didn't say anything there, Kunal. It's just the players.
Small weak offside. To the 100 calls, sir.
600.
Raise 6. 6 lakh to call. Fold. Fold.
Arsh on the big blind with a very strong hand. He recently made a play against Alok's open from under the gun with his king 5 off. Definitely ace queen is an extremely strong hand, and we're going to see a similar play.
We saw him 3-bet last time on his big blind with king 5 off. This time he has a legitimate hand with ace queen off.
He's just gone all in. He's not 3-betting here. He's just gone all in, and this time around he's also shown his hand.
3-bet किया तब नहीं लिखा है.
अच्छा मतलब आप वो कर रहे हो. आपको अब हर हैंड में जो भी फोल्ड करूँ या जीतूँ
फोल्ड करूँ फोल्ड
अच्छा जो भी मैं पॉइंट जीतूँ उसका आपको शोडाउन चाहिए स्ट्रीम से पहले. कोई गेम रह ही ना जाए, मतलब नो मिस्ट्री लेफ्ट जिंदगी.
$300 calls, sir. Fold.
Siddhant folding his 7 deuce.
Fold.
We're going to see some blind on blind action between Arsh and Alok.
Fold.
Arsh has slowly chipped up to 7.4 million. He lets that hand go, and Alok picks up the blinds and the antes. He's still hovering around 16 million. He did go up to 19 million in the middle. But now he's around 16 million, given up a couple of his chips, doubling up a few players here and there.
Small. Big.
Pairs under the gun.
100 to come.
6-5 of hearts.
Fold. Fold.
750.
Alok again with a 7,50,000. Last time around, Siddhant had ace 6 on the big blind. This time around, he has jack 6 on the big blind. He's definitely not defending this if he didn't want to defend the ace 6 off.
Well, he did fold an a6 off last time, so I'm not really sure what he's going to do with jack 6 suited in the big blind.
Yeah, it's most likely looking like a fold.
Fold.
Does exactly that.
Yeah.
And
Siddhant
he's
has
still
been
the
playing a
shortest
bit.
stack.
Siddhant has been playing a bit coy from the start, but they were like he folded second pair multi-way when he just faced 1 bet, folded a6 off in the last orbit, and then we just see him fold jack 6 suited. And it's not like Alok is going to slow down anytime soon. He's just going to keep raising you.
Small, big. $200 to call, sir. Sir.
Arsh picking up 5-3 offsuit from early position. We're just going to see him fold this hand.
Fold.
King 7 suited for Alok on the
Definitely
button.
opening this
Definitely opening this hand. I mean, if it doesn't matter, if
Just gone all in.
just gone all in.
Full pressure. Siddhant is 8-3 off. What does Faiz have? He has the ace 10. Is he going to be calling this, knowing that Siddhant is a shorter stack?
I just think Faz has to make this call because you're down to four-handed. You have a suited ace. Alok is going to be jamming inferior ace-x, offsuit inferior ace-x. He's going to be jamming a lot of broadways. We saw him earlier jamming jack-9 offsuit, I believe. So ace-10 just like a premium hand, and you have to make this call. I know
Some
that
of the stronger hands, Alok would opt to open instead of just open jam. And that should also be giving Faiz a clue in terms of the strength of our Alok's hand and the range of hands that he's going to be jamming here. He's obviously in some spot. He knows he's going to be a favorite, but does he want to be in a 60-40 spot?
Fold.
He does not, and he lays that hand down.
वो थोड़ा इस साइड रखना मुझे दिखता ही नहीं है कभी.
power of going all in, putting your opponents
वो स्ट्राइक देखा ही नहीं मैंने.
in maximum pressure there, making him fold
That stag is 1.5.
like ace 10 suited there. I mean, what are your thoughts, Raja, there? Folding ace 10 suited on the big blind.
I mean, considering if he's been watching the stream, he'd know that extremely premium hands, whenever Alok has picked up, he's opted to open rather than jam.
Yeah.
And he's been jamming a mixed bunch of hands which are medium strength and somewhat like ace 10 and king jacks and the likes, you know. And in this situation, when you know he'd basically jammed a king 7 suited in this particular situation, and Faiz was way ahead.
Like, see, Siddhant is like, if Siddhant Kapoor had like a stack of like 5 big blinds, I can still understand it, but
Yeah,
I
they're equal stacked at this point in time.
100%. Like, I believe Faiz and Siddhant has a similar stack, and you rarely get those, combination of hands that you can call a shove where you're facing an all-in from the chip leader. Really surprised to see Faiz fold ace-10 suited in the big blind.
फोल्ड ऑप्शन नहीं है बिग ब्लाइंड.
Arsh just matching,
Heads up, sir.
and Alok wants to see the flop. Ace high board, ace jack 3, rainbow. We still don't know what Arsh's cards are, but he has checked, and that's a
400.
quick bet.
I have to defend tight, but I can't start mucking.
So one, so one.
Big 5 hours.
5, so one, so one.
I'm like, you obviously understand better than me, but I'm just.
Like only hands that can make me
अगर वो
like
खेल रहा है तो
Alok, sir,
बराबर.
big blind up.
ठीक है, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ बराबर नहीं है, but पूरा पूछ रहा हूँ. I'm
He's
not
just
saying that I
asking
understand better.
curious.
I'm not saying that. Exactly.
आपका है सर
वो last hand.
I think it's a marathon run between Siddhant and Faiz. Who's gonna be there longer? Because I believe they're gonna fold and see if they can secure a third position.
Which is a huge pay jump of 6.5 lakhs.
Yeah.
I mean, 6.5 lakh is something that the 7th position took, and now that's equivalent value of the pay jump between the 4th and the 3rd place.
call. Up some big blind.
Arsh laying a trap for Alok
Check.
from small blind. Just limping away with ace queen offsuit.
Heads up.
Blind versus blind action, and it's a queen 3-3 board. What a beautiful board that is for Arsh.
I'm gonna see Arsh probably check this. Keep trap.
Check.
Keep trying to trap Alok.
300.
Quickly bets one big
300
blind.
calls, sir.
Arsh is probably gonna just flat call here.
Yeah,
Keep all the bluff that Alok has in his range. Continue.
definitely. Also, he can have weaker queen X's sometimes, right? And he's got the best ace queen.
I just feel like Arsh is gonna win a lot of chips in this hand. He's got a perfect trap laid down.
A 10 or a 7 is not going to help Alok either, but it's a 9 on the turn. Arsh should just check here again, right?
Check.
He has quickly checked. Now Alok has received a call on a queen 3-3 board, and he knows that Arsh is fully capable of trapping him. He's looking at his stack depth. Is he going to check back here? Because if he does check back, it'll be a very beautiful check back on the river, on the turn.
1.2.
And he's
1.2.
put in a huge bet
12
of
lakh.
1.2 million
1200
there.
call.
80% of the pot.
Yep. And
That
now
is
when he
being
does
bet.
get a call, he's really gonna have some alarm bells ringing, knowing for the fact that Arsh is repping a queen or sometimes even a 3 there. But he's also himself trying to represent a 3 in this situation. Because queen 3-3 is an extremely dry board there. You're either repping a queen X or a 3. There's no other draw that you have.
Alok is setting up a pot jam on the river because Arsh is going to have around 3.7, I believe, behind. 4.7. And the pot's going to be 3.9. So it's a little bit above 1 here. But my question is, what does Arsh call here on the flop on a queen 3-3? There is no
Yeah.
draws happening.
Yeah.
You're not bluffing a 3 away. Can you bluff a queen away? Really?
Now,
so
Arsh, I believe, with that sizing on the turn, and he's called it. I don't know if he wants to lead out for value here, because what happens when he leads out and he gets jammed on by a 3? So he is going to check, and check is the correct option there, in my opinion, as well. And Alok now definitely knows that Arsh did not ever have a draw on a queen 3-3-9 board, and
I'll be really shocked if Alok decides to bet here, because the hands that he was attacking on the turn was a size, which would fold.
he just quickly
And
checks back and he gets the news. He does have a queen.
This is what we see, because there are only 3 hands that Arsh has.
Would have been a spot if you rep, because you have all 3x. I barely have any, but I can also still have some 3x, 10 3 suited, 2 3 suited, ace 3 suited. So it's like.
But I didn't think you would fold a queen.
No, it's like all queens are indifferent, kind of, because you're only repping a 3 when you overbet jam river, if that's the sizing you were planning to go.
But thing is, you have all the better queens.
And another thing is, like, let's say you rep and I do have a 3, like the entire dynamic changes. Now I'm chip lead. like whatever.
You'll still fold a lot of small pairs, sixes on the turn now.
Then it's perfect. Like the range you were trying to get to fold will fold on the turn for sure.
As I said, so there are three type of hands that Arsh is gonna have from the small blind: a 3, B a queen, and the third is a size and pocket pairs. All those pocket pairs, all those a size gonna fold the turn when they face a big bet, and that is why it's a very wise check by Alok on the river, because a queen never folds there. Arsh explaining that all the queen X become indifferent, making. So what an indifferent meaning means is in the Pio world is basically you can actually fold or actually make the call. You're not gonna win a lot of money and you're not gonna lose a lot of money when you make that call. So yeah, a fine hand played between both the players, I believe. Alok tried to put the maximum pressure on Arsh, and Arsh perfectly laying down the trap for Alok.
Has gone all in from the big blind against Alok.
ये ले लिया इसने आधे से ज़्यादा स्टॉक। मैंने कहाँ बोला था आपको कॉल करने के लिए?
I think it's Aly Goni's voice in the background.
300 calls, sir.
I'll just check. Think about 8.7.
Fold.
All in.
All in.
There is
Fold.
an all-in by Alok there.
Fold.
And there are folds all around. He chips up.
I hate giving chips to you.
Try not to. I mean, try not to. You don't have to win every pot from me. And you don't have to put pressure on me if you feel like I wouldn't really give a fuck like that, you know?
No,
So
but
big
you will
blind.
play.
I'll play correct. It's like, so like, the thing is, if you go out of line and I'm playing correct, sometimes you will lose chips in that sense. Like,
I guess that was okay though.
yeah. No, I completely, I love the shutdown. I wasn't folding river. Like, I'm at the extreme top of my range except 3x. And it's like, hey, if you played a 3 like that, it's really well played hand. I gotta give you my chips in the
300 to call, sir.
Six.
Wouldn't
Reds.
have been an easy call though, for sure. Wouldn't have been an easy call though.
Yeah.
6 lakh.
Yeah, but I don't expect you to fold this anyways.
600 to call. Fold.
Arsh. Pocket kings on the big blind. There's been a raise by Alok. And
Re-raise.
And there's a re-raise there by Arsh. With his pocket kings applying max pressure
21
there
lakh.
on Alok.
21.
That's a
Four.
pretty hefty bet and a quick 4 by Alok. Here we have a quick change in the commentary booth. I've got Samir with me who picked up max amount of cash in yesterday's tournament. How's it going, brother? He came second in the kickoff event. How are you feeling, brother?
Good, yeah, the feeling is always great when you cash in the first tournament.
Yeah.
I think we have reached, we're getting to the business end of things here on the IPC Megastack.
Absolutely,
Highroller.
the high roller. But how does it feel on the commentary booth? You've been playing on the poker table, you've been there for a while, and you've been showing your skills. How about some skills in the commentary booth, brother? Are we going to see some of your hand history reviews happening here?
Yes, I think my skills have been brought into question after yesterday's.
Not necessarily. Listen, you've got the results backing your skill. I always have this question for somebody who joins me in the booth. Who do you think your money is on? Who do you think will win this particular tournament?
I haven't got a...
I'll feed you in.
Of
I'll
the
basically,
hand.
I'm going to
What's the
basically
chip stack
cue you
like?
in. Alok was the chip leader. He still is the chip leader. But
Okay.
Arsh has chipped up a bunch. He's got 9.2 million now. Alok has close to about 14-15 million at this point in time. And Arsh has been on a hot run. He's been picking up cards. The very last hand he had pocket kings. Now he has ace king.
I saw that hand
And
from outside, yes.
he's been applying a lot of pressure back on Alok now. And small blind versus big blind. I'll give you a quick idea. The last time these guys played small blind versus big blind, the dynamics were totally different. Arsh limped with ace queen and hit the queen on the queen 3-3 board. Check called flop, check called turn, and the river went check check, and he chipped up a lot of chips from Alok. This time around again he's laid the trap with his ace king. He's limped from the small blind, and Alok this time around has raised to 900,000.
Wow,
Now
things
he's
are really
of course
heating up in the
he is
small and big
definitely
blind.
of course, and this is the battle between the two big stacks. And on the other hand, Faiz and Siddhant are sitting on the sidelines enjoying
Just
this show.
watching the show.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the pay jumps you can see are huge.
Absolutely.
From this one onwards, the fourth prizes.
They're all guaranteed
a million.
10.17, yes.
Yes, but the pay jumps are huge, so it makes sense for the shorter stacks to kind of take it easy. If the bigger stacks are getting into it, they would obviously want to, get those pay jumps if one of these happen to bust out. But you know what? At this point, my money is on Arsh.
Yeah.
He's a great poker player.
Absolutely.
And he's a stand-up guy. So,
And that's
alright.
exactly what he
And
does. He
there's
had the
exactly
intent
what- yeah.
of limp raising this particular spot. His small blind strategy against the chip leader is actually absolutely on spot.
Absolutely spot on.
And limp raises.
Now-
This is the first limp raise he's done. He's limp folded, he's limp called, and now he's limp raised. This has to ring the alarm bells in
Absolutely. And
Alok's
Alok is
mind.
going to fold, and that's exactly what
folds.
you would expect Alok to do at this spot. He knows, he understands the game. He knows that Arsh is not 3-betting him. Like it smelled of a trap, and I think he pretty much got it. But
Absolutely.
Good.
Knowing the fact that Arsh limped in ace queen in the previous blind versus blind encounter
Yes.
is very, very important consideration that Alok had here. So his
Absolutely.
limp raises would also suggest that he has a lot of traps again, and he did exactly that. Ace queen, ace king. He
But
limped.
it also puts Arsh in a very good position next time he doesn't have the goods and he wants to still,
Yep.
take a stab at it.
But having said that, Alok is no walk in the park himself. He's
Absolutely,
also
absolutely.
literally clued in. He's not let go of the chip lead at all from the word go.
Absolutely.
And he's relentless. He's continuously applied pressure on all of them. This
Yes.
point in time, we're just enjoying
Faiz
ourselves,
lets
learning a
his
lot.
7-5 off go. He's on a little less than 8 big blinds.
Arsh
Alok
folding.
on 9 deuce and small blind. He would definitely want to try and get tricky here, but
At this point in
given his
time,
stock-
he's
yeah.
been opening a
He's
lot
he's
into
gonna
the
open,
big
yeah.
blind, which is Siddhant. And he's asking for a chip count at this point in time.
He wants to make sure he understands what he's getting into. Faiz is on the big blind, right?
No, it's Siddhant. Siddhant is on the big blind.
The white chips are
100,000, yes. How did your main event, day 1A, go? Did you make it to day 2?
Day 1A was a little disappointing. I bagged 17 big blinds.
Okay.
But I had a good stack twice in the tournament, and both times with my aggressive play, I managed to somehow scale
worries.
myself down. But okay.
Here we have Alok raising it to $1 million. The blinds, by the way, have been increased to 200, 400k with a 400k big blind ante. And at this point in time, Siddhant had a queen deuce and lets it go.
Yes. Siddhant is also at 8, little over 8 big blinds.
Yep,
So
8.5.
and
Pairs have a pretty similar stack depth
pretty similar
there.
stack. So
And
I
that's
think-
why they're kind of competing for that third spot, because this is the pay jump from 4th to 3rd is worth 6.5 lakhs. 6.5 lakhs was the payout for 6th position. We're discussing this. So it's literally you're getting paid 6 positions money on top of the 4th, right? So it makes sense for them to kind of wait it out and jump, because these pay jumps are jumping from 10 to 16 to 28 to 43. That's huge. But at the same time, listen, when you make it to the top 3, you give yourself a chance of maybe getting into a deal, or maybe even doubling up and then playing for the winning spot.
Because at this spot, 8 big blinds, they're just waiting for the right hand to click, and one double up can really take them far. And we've seen this time and again in poker. Sometimes the short stacks do manage to kind of double up in the right times,
Listen,
and
it's
then
a
ship it from there.
It's a chip in a chair situation, right? You want to survive till the end, and then maybe pick up some aces or kings, and then magic can happen even when you have
That's
2 big
how
blinds
I roll,
left.
man.
Yeah.
Alok is on button, and he has both the short stacks on the small blind and big blind. I think he would look at applying some pressure.
Absolutely.
He has the chips to
Raises to 2 big blinds, 800k.
He has a decent hand. He obviously doesn't want to risk too much in case one of them wakes up with a giant hand.
And he does.
And I think we're going to look at a...
See, his fares is 100% going all in here.
Yes.
The question is, what is Alok going to do? Alok had a strategy predefined. See, if this was a hand that he did not want to call with, he would open fold, right?
Exactly.
If he had the intent of calling all jams, he'd rather
He would
jam
have
himself.
jammed himself, or he would have bet a little more.
Yeah, I mean, to induce a jam, but and to show commitment to that particular pot in this situation,
Exactly.
because he's had a mixed strategy against the shorter stacks. He's been jamming, and he's also been opening, and he's also opened a bunch of very strong hands that he's willing to call off with, because we've seen him open ace king and pocket kings. Now he's opened 9-7 here with the intent of open folding instead of open calling with those particular hands.
Right.
So he's also been very balanced in his overall approach from the button against the smaller stacks and the blinds. So I mean, good to see that he had a plan there already in mind. The moment somebody jammed, he doesn't waste any time. He quickly
And on
folded
this
his
table,
9-7.
he has the positional advantage. He has both the short stacks on his left.
Absolutely.
And every time it's on the small blind, big blind, he is on the dealer button.
Yeah.
Because he's
800.
on the left of Arsh, he knows Arsh can't get too tricky also with him.
There's a quick all-in here. Let me just quickly
Let's
take
see
you
what's
through the
up.
action. There's an all-in by Siddhant, who's going to be risking his tournament life, but under the gun, Alok opened to 800 with a 7. and he is asking for a count. Listen, if he does make this call, he may be ahead in terms of equity there against the King Jack, depending on what cards have been folded in this particular hand. But if we can see, Siddhant has gone all in for 3.2 million.
Fold. 32, right?
Yes, sir.
And he does
And
make
he does
that
make the
call. Oh, Arsh had an ace-7 himself, and he had folded the ace and the 7 at this point in time. You can see that Alok is a slight favorite, but it's Siddhant Kapoor at risk for his tournament life.
I know all the tricks, bro.
Look at that, Siddhant, a little bit nervous, standing up.
It's what we call a standard flip in poker.
Let's see the board. There it's a monotone board, a queen 8-7. The 7 has
Nobody
connected
has
for
a heart.
Alok. A king or a jack is required for Siddhant. A king or a jack only now is going to help
Down to
him.
6
Otherwise, we're
outs.
going to lose him in 4th position. Is there a king?
There
No, there's
isn't
not.
a- that
It's a 10
is-
of hearts. With that, we have lost Siddhant Kapoor. Listen, he's been a big ambassador for the sport of poker. He's been around, look at that, hugs and handshakes all around. Big respect for him and also for all the other players. He's lost out in 4th position. He stacks back and goes home with 10.17 lakh. Big amount. You know what that means though? You've got the top 3 players. Alok Birewar chips up and the 3rd place, and every one of these guys is guaranteed 16.72 lakh.
Absolutely. And now he's made even a bigger stack over Arsh, and things are going to get interesting. I think we're going to hear some talk about deals here. What do you think?
I mean, I'm really not sure if they would want to make a deal 3-handed at this point in time, knowing for a fact that Faiz is very, very
extremely
short.
short,
You know,
and-
there could be an opportunity to have a deal between the top 2 players if Alok and Arsh make it their way in the top 2. But at this point in time, I'm pretty sure both of their eyes and thoughts would be in terms of eliminating Faiz.
The stream भी देखोगे ना, इसका बता देना कि Arsh you went out of line, or you can be like Arsh I like your play. No, but like in general, like I'm saying, like.
Look at Arsh there taking feedback on his game.
Oh, no, he's consistently been doing that. He's also been giving feedback. It's been really enjoying for myself as well to commentate, listening to Arsh and his overall dynamics in terms of play on this table.
And he's a stand-up guy. I was while I was playing day 1 of the warm-up event, he was on my left for 5 hours, and for pretty much 5 hours, we had met for the first time. He kept talking to me about my hands and what I'm doing right and wrong. And me being a new player, I really appreciated all the advice that he was giving me from somebody who has so much experience in this industry and in this game. He knows poker so well, and he was giving me all that training for free.
Yeah.
And what a stand-up guy he is. I mean,
grab that.
I told him I'm a fanboy when it comes to Arsh Grover. So yeah, my mind is riding on him.
400 to go, sir.
Arsh on the button with 6 2s of clubs. Let's it go. Blind versus blind action between the 2 friends. Alok
is
just
going to
ripping
put
it
pressure.
in with the ace. And does Faiz have anything to call off with? Faiz has a 10-9
Faiz has
there
a
though.
10-9. It's the kind of horn
Let's
you
go.
would somebody sometime call off with, but I think Faiz is...
He's maybe looking at a little more equity there to call off for his entire tournament life. But by the way, whoever comes 3rd has locked in 16.72 lakhs. But what's more important is there's a pay jump of 11.5, 12 lakh now. Second place guaranteed 28.38 lakhs. That's unbelievable amounts of money.
But the good thing is Faiz now has no ICM pressure. So he can actually, find just the right spot. Alok wakes up with King Queen on dealer. I think he's going to put some pressure again, but
400 to go.
Even भी नहीं है ना.
800. Raise 800.
keeps it standard because he knows Arsh is also still involved in the hand and it can get tricky anytime.
Full.
Faiz lets his
800
King
to
8
go.
offsuit go. Arsh wakes up with 7-8 off.
Oh,
in
pretty
the big
defendable
blind.
hand.
And he lets it go too.
Lets it go, doesn't want to get involved here.
Faiz. Alok takes some more chips, pardon me.
See, here's the dynamic change. Now with a very short stack on the table and Alok with a significant chip lead, Arsh has to be a little more careful getting into a pot with
Absolutely.
Alok. He
Absolutely.
doesn't want to lose a bunch of chips or get into a situation where he mistakenly or unknowingly comes second.
Yes.
Right? Because it's just an ICM blunder and the amount of risk premium that's on Arsh right now is humongous.
And
so
the
he wants to
jump
kind
from
of
the
avoid
third
these
position
spots.
to the second position is huge. It's almost twice. So Arsh is
Absolutely.
not going to stumble here, for that momentary chip
And
game
listen,
because he knows when it comes to heads up with Alok, he still has a fighting chance. Even if he's 2-1 underdog, he still has or even 3-1 underdog here.
Yeah.
he still has a fighting chance when it comes to heads-up game. So
And
he's
something that
one
we've
of
been
the people that-
discussing about Arsh previously as well is that, listen, he's a veteran at this game. You may think he's 26 years old. How much experience does this man have? He's been playing poker since he was 11 years
Yes,
old. He
he was
just
11
mentioned
years
on the
old.
stream 11. I mean, that's unbelievable.
He
Much
made a
experience.
comment yesterday to me that I feel I know poker better than I know myself, and I think that goes extremely deep. You can see how passionate he is about the game and how deep his understanding is about every hand, every situation, every position. So he's not going to open light.
Alok quickly jamming his 6-7 of clubs. Do we see a call from Faiz? If he does make this call, he's going to realize that he's absolutely dominating Alok's 6-7 with his Jack 7. He's got 2 million in terms of chip. He's got 5 big blinds left behind. He's already.
And he's quickly running out of time, giving the big blind anti-air, moving around so quickly. He's almost running out of time. I think it's actually a good spot, not knowing Alok's card. Also, I think it would have been a good spot to kind of call it off, given that they were suited. He had straight outs. He would have had flush outs.
I think from the way Faiz has been playing, I'm assuming he's looking at a king high or a ace high sort of a hand to
yes.
make that call. And at this point in time, since he's posted the big blind, he's got a couple of hands. He's going to be the small blind now and then the button
And I
before
think
the big blind comes again. The next 2 hands, he's going to have to make a
down to
decision.
almost the last 2-3 hands of his tournament because he has 2 million behind. And
the other thing
800
about getting this shot is that you really don't leave yourself with the option of having some fold equity.
Exactly.
Right? So he has to keep that in mind as well, since he has 5 big blinds left now and he's posted half a big blind. He's down to 4.5 big blinds behind.
Alok.
Hopefully he picks up something and for his sake doubles up.
Is this going to be one of those hands Alok lets pass? Or are you going to continue the pressure with 5
I think he's still going to open and he lets
Does
it go.
let it go. And I think this is the one spot
finally.
Faiz is going to jam blind practically.
And a call.
Arsh has no option here to call it off for.
See,
those
there's
few
a lot
chips.
of dead money in the pot.
Exactly.
And he's got 2 live cards. It's Ace-6 versus King-4. Faiz versus Arsh. It's Faiz at risk for his tournament life. Is he going to double up or are we going to lose him in 3rd position? Ace-6
Arsh
versus
has
King-4.
6 outs.
And there is an ace and a 6. It's almost done. It's 98% locked, sealed deal. You can sit back down, Faiz Alam.
Yes.
Oh, there is a 10 required. Wow.
There's a little bit of a
Runner,
sweat
runner.
here.
And a 4.
That
That's
would
all
have been a
right.
sick cooler if there was a 10 on the river, but
well,
Faiz dodges the bullet.
4 big blind में भी बिना एस के तो डालना ही नहीं
Listen, that in particular is very, very, very beneficial for one person, and that's Alok. Now look at that. What that's basically done is it's doubled up Faiz to 4.4 million, and it's tripled up Arsh to 6.2 million, with Alok upwards of 20 million.
Yes.
Right? Now they both have to kind of fight their way through in order to become 3rd position or 2nd position, and that just gives free hand to Alok to dominate even further, which is been doing splendidly.
Absolutely. And every time Alok wakes up with any semi-decent hand on dealer button, he can apply the pressure because he knows Arsh can't call him light there. And because he wouldn't have position and he has the chip stack advantage.
At one
So
point in time, we
this-
saw the gap between Arsh and Alok had dwindled down to just 4 million, because one point Arsh had gone up to 11 million and Alok was down to 15. He's extended that gap now.
Faiz has about 11 big blinds now. He's on the dealer button, opens up with 7-8 off. I think he's going to
400 to go.
let this one go because he's just chipped up. He knows
And he
he's
also
still-
does not want to open up into Alok's big blind.
Exactly.
That's the last thing you want to
and
be
now
doing.
he knows he's within spitting distance of Arsh's
second
chip
position.
stack. So he wants to obviously again wait for the right opportunity because now the blinds are going to hurt Arsh as much as it's going to hurt Alok.
And the pay jump, guys, is 12 lakh from 3rd to 2nd. Small amount, I guess.
Yeah. More than what I made yesterday.
Yeah, that's what they're fighting for. Every hand or every flip that they take right now
is one tournament.
Yeah.
400 to go.
Arsh wakes up with King 10 off on dealer button.
I'd love to see what his
he
strategy
has about
here
15
is.
big blinds.
Does he start ripping or he still open calls or open folds? I mean, I'm not sure if he wants to go.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I was expecting from Arsh at that
And
spot.
quick fold from Alok and a king 4 from Faiz.
King 4
So this is
suited.
the strategy
Faiz
that I
also
was
lets it go.
discussing. So does he start ripping, or because when you open and then Alok applies pressure on you, put yourself in a very tough situation,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So you might as
And-
well just jam and have certain better hands also sometimes fold.
And also, you always want to keep the pressure on the other person. if he thinks it's a hand, he's going to open with and then eventually going to call. Even if Faiz
so you might
shoves,
as well.
he might as well apply the pressure first.
More importantly, it's always easier to jam yourself than to call off a jam.
Absolutely.
You know, it becomes
absolutely.
a way more
And
difficult
and that's a
situation then.
huge difference in poker, which a lot of people are not very cognizant of. That it's better to always open jam than to call somebody else's jam, because then your equity completely changes there.
400
Alok just quickly taking a chip count from
The
Arsh.
chip leader wears Prada and has a jack deuce off.
I mean, at this point in time, he does
Still
not
opens.
care about what he had. That's why
Absolutely.
I said he's been relentless all throughout. He sees a jack and he feels that's enough in terms
Faiz
of a
has
high
4-6
card
off,
value.
which is
Three
gonna let
ways.
go. Arsh has to let go of 8-9. Well, I'm still rooting for my man Arsh Grover here.
Of course. I mean, of course, and I, in fact, the same question I asked myself as well in the beginning of the stream, and I obviously took the safest route, which was to choose the chip leader. But having said that, Alok is a chip leader with a lot of skill, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been showing
I'm
that
not
skill.
discounting, Alok at all here, but
No, but I love
it's just
the
that-
small little competition that we have going on in between us as well here. We have Faiz with a pretty decent hand in the form of two Broadway cards, which are suit, and he does rip it in with
I
his
think,
Queen 10.
It's a premium hand, in our parlance, any two cards above 10, and this is suited here, so he has the additional flush
Alok
equity.
looking down at 8-7 off, quickly folding, and giving enough respect to Faiz for his jam there, and Faiz moves up to 11
Absolutely.
big
And
blinds again.
At this spot, Alok also doesn't want to double up Faiz unnecessarily and create, change the dynamics that he has going here. He knows he has to keep applying pressure, but he knows how to, kind of take his foot off the pedal also when required.
Absolutely.
He doesn't want to give any of them any additional ammunition here than they already have.
Yeah, no easy double ups.
Absolutely.
I mean, you need to take your standard spots here, and 8-7 obviously does not
All right.
qualify.
Arsh wakes up with Queen Jack offsuit in the dealer position. He has
so
about
last
15
time we
big
saw
blinds.
that he open jammed King 10. I'd love to see what he does with Queen Jack.
I think same rule applies. I would expect him to jam here. A 3-bet.
All in.
He has gone all in. He's got a very straightforward strategy with his Broadway cards. He doesn't want anyone to peel and see the flop. He doesn't want to play post flop. He's applying max pressure with his King 10, with his Queen Jack, pretty standard, and also very balanced.
As long as he can keep picking up those blinds every round, he'll still have a 6 million chip stack. If he picks up one big blind, small blind every round, he'll still have the same stack, and then he hopes in one hand either Faiz loses to him or to Alok, which still puts him in the better spot. Obviously, he would hope that Faiz and he gets into a hand where he comes out on top, and that would give him a fighting chance against Alok.
Absolutely, Alok with the 10-8 definitely going to just rip it in.
I think.
And
Fold.
Max pressure on both of them. Faiz doesn't really has much. He's got garbage and a
And
quick call
Arsh
with the
works
pocket
up
queens
with the
there.
this time, just
Wow.
perfect.
One of those hands, man.
Did you think that was a slightly more aggressive play with the 8-10?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I should be feeling fairly confident. He's got 85% chance to win, but and he's right. There's a very tight range that he immediately calls with, and Queens obviously falls
Absolutely.
in that 2-3%, 5% range that he has. Can we see some sweat on the board? There's a Queen. There's
And
no
the
sweat.
Queen, there's
End
no
of
sweat.
discussion. He's drawing dead.
Arsh is
Thank you very much.
98%
says Arsh.
equity, which is as good as dead here. And with the turn, King of Spade, the hand
Doesn't
is pretty
help.
much dead.
He makes strips,
And
but he
makes a full house just to plug it
Yeah.
in completely.
Yeah, just for good measure there in the end. I just have a full house, sir. Thank you very much. And my count was
Arsh is now
6.
getting comfortable. I'll do it. I'll give you the chip count.
5,
He's making him
6,
count it out, every bit of it.
65, 75.
And now that suddenly puts Arsh in an extremely comfortable position. He has now 14 million chips. Alok with 16 million chips are pretty much on the same place. It again puts Faiz on the back foot. He's again the guy who's, in the danger. But again, no ICM pressure there.
Yeah, absolutely. And now there's absolutely none of that ICM pressure on him. He's got nothing to lose. He's got 16 lakh locked in, and the only way he progresses in this tournament is by doubling up.
Yes.
So he's got one option, which is to take his chances and hope for the best, because at this point in time, Arsh and Alok are kind of sort of out of reach for him.
Yes.
One is at 14 million, the other is at 16 million. They're virtually right there.
Yep.
There's hardly any gap between a five. They're basically separated by 2 million, which is worth 5 big blinds at this point in time, right? Whereas I believe Faiz is close to about 10 bigs in total right now, with close to about 4 million chips he has.
Faiz has about 4 million chips.
I'm guessing.
Yep.
4. Actually,
14.
no. He's got about 2.5, 3 million chips now. Total chips in play are about 32 million. Both of them accumulate to have 30 million.
Oh yes.
तो अभी भी trash
So-
talking चल रही है सर की needle कर रहे हैं आपको.
They're having some friendly banter on the table. Faiz is trying to trash talk his way out of the situation. Let's see what he has in the dealer button.
We can see
Faiz has
an
pocket
all-in.
eights, which is a standard
And
spot for him to shove.
Arsh may just be looking
Arsh,
to make a call here.
Absolutely,
with this queen
but he does
10.
know he can't flat call this because he knows he has Faiz, Alok behind him.
Fold.
He lets it go.
He makes the fold.
Now it's down to Alok. Alok has
the Doyle
to let this
Brunson
go.
hand.
The Doyle Brunson hand has to go into the muck here. But you know, all said and done, again, we have seen this time and again on poker. Faiz has 4.4 million chips. One double up in the right spot could put him in the 10 million mark, which brings
Absolutely.
him pretty close to Arsh's stack.
Yeah, it depends who he gets that double up from.
And if he gets it from even if he gets it from
From
Alok,
Alok, it's
he would
pretty
still
cool.
he would have the same chip stack as Alok, and things
Yeah.
could turn around here in a bit. That's been a lot of change from 2 million when he was almost done, less than 5 big blind. Now he still has a fighting chance.
Yep,
He's
absolutely.
just waiting for the right spot and the right hand. Jack 3 of
And whoever's
Also-
just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Highroller at India Poker Championship Megastacks here in Casino Vegas by Big Daddy in Nepal. And you're watching live action here with me, Prajit Gambhir. And we also have Samir as my co-commentator.
OG fold, bro. Oh shit.
Oh,
shit.
Faiz woke up with a good king queen, also the kind of hands he would want to shove with.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it was one of those times that Alok lets it go. Alok
One
does
of those
not apply
times.
any pressure with his jack deuce off.
दो में कोई jack 3 off आ रहा है भाई जी. आपको वो भी तो दिख
All
रहा
right.
है. आपको मैंने
Alok is on the dealer button, has king 6 off.
बकचोदी नहीं फैला रहा.
400 calls, sir.
Again, Alok might want to take this one easy.
Yeah, now
And
listen,
all
it's-
of it is that
no,
because
a
now
lot
Arsh
of
has-
dynamics have changed because he's opening into
Absolutely.
Arsh's
I
big
think that
blind. and
11
Arsh
big
is
blind
going to
shove is
happily-
coming in.
This is going to come for sure,
They're all
and he
in.
has gone all in. The question is, what is Arsh going to pick up? He has a king and a 5.
Arsh knows that Faiz has been waiting for the right hands all this while. He's not going to shove with anything less than ace or a king in his hand. So I think he understands that he might be heavily dominated here. Even the pocket pairs that Faiz would shove with puts Arsh in a tight spot. So
Yeah,
I think
but
he
blind
rightly lets
versus
this one
blind,
go.
Faiz, no, it's a absolutely correct fold there, but Faiz could have had hands like queen 10, queen 9 that he would jam, and sometimes king 5 is ahead of that queen 10, queen 9, marginally in terms of equity, but he doesn't want to be marginal in this spot and give a double up, and so king 5, from all point of view, a great fold there, and he rightly so would have a bunch of ace X's, a bunch of pocket pairs, and king 5 if you check around with the overall range that Faiz would have in terms of jamming. May not be doing that well, will be marginally okay, but Faiz, to be honest, is not jamming his entire range. He's happy folding that as well, because if
Yes.
he's jamming 70, 80, 90% of his hands
Faiz
there,
again wakes up with a hand that he would want to shove with. He has about a little short of 15, 14 big blinds.
yeah, he's got about 12 and a half bigs there.
Yes.
With 5.4
I think
million.
the tricky situation for Faiz is now if he doesn't shove and wants to play this,
He has gone all in. Listen,
it would
the
send the
idea,
wrong message.
yeah, the idea is to be balanced. You're
Absolutely.
jamming your entire range
Fold.
here, and Queens falls in that exact same range.
Alok
Unlucky
is gonna
for
let
him
us-
that nobody has anything
to call him with.
But he chips up to 6.4 million there. He's not complaining.
He's chipping away at the blinds slowly, one hand at a time. And, as Daniel Negreanu said, that the poker tournaments are played in between hands when you're chipping away with those blinds every time you get an opportunity, and that's exactly what Faiz is doing here right now.
4, 5.
I mean, he's making moves. He's moved upwards of 6 million.
And he's being patient. He's not impatient. He's not being he's not being rash with his decisions. And I think that speaks volumes about the amount of experience these guys have and the kind of the tons of hands that they have played. They know that how quickly things can move in their direction.
Absolutely. King 10 on the
Alok.
small blind from Alok. Just
Pressure on
rips it
Faiz.
in with his King 10. What does Faiz have? He has a Jack 9 of diamonds. He's got a decision on
Faiz
his
has
mind.
to know that he is behind here, but he does know that he has a fighting chance if he does decide to call this off.
Lets it go. He knows. He understands the dynamics here. He is behind. Makes the right fold.
And Alok himself said it. Ab light jam nahi kar sakte. So, and I think that's something both the
तेरा स्टैक में से ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, समझ रहा है तू?
Alok understands the complete chip dynamics here.
Yes.
Mr. Arsh Grover.
कहाँ से chip? You chip lead, bro. Not chip lead.
I think they're still wondering who has the chip leader.
I can confirm for the fact that Alok still has a very marginal chip lead there. And
Alok
you
is
see,
gonna
he
let-
was opening a bunch of these hands, but it becomes very difficult for him to open them now because there's very little ICM on Faiz, and B, he's opening into a guy like Arsh Grover who now has chips to play with, so he's going to be defending very, very, very wide, which he wasn't for the longest time. So that's why he has to let go of these hands now.
I think a few hands have completely changed the dynamic of the game.
Defendable. If you were like
अब आप मेरे पे अंधा प्रेशर नहीं मार सकते तो हम पोकर खेल सकते हैं अभी तक तो हम पुश फोल्ड खेल रहे थे अभी तक जितनी
I think I couldn't have said it better that now they can actually play poker.
Yeah, because this is exactly what we were discussing as well. He can't. Alok has to stop pressurizing Arsh now.
But he can't also because given the chip stack. Alok has about half the average chip stack. The average chip stack should be about 11 here. They have 33 million chips.
fold.
One good double up, and we could actually see if these guys then want to consider how they want to play it out, because there's a lot of money on the line.
Absolutely.
The total prize pool being upward of 1 CR, and we still have 86 lakh on the line between top three spots.
Also big blind. Check. Check.
Arsh has completed a
Heads
small
up.
blind with 5-6 suited. Alok decides to check his option here with his queen 7 off. He does block his straight outs and a flush out.
Pretty good board
That's an
there.
interesting board.
There's an open-ended straight draw for Arsh, but whereas Alok has a second pair on this board. In terms of equity, you can see Alok has 66% chance
Sick.
of winning this particular pot. And Arsh has had a very standard strategy, small blind versus big blind, especially when he
400
limps.
tops
Even
up.
with his weaker hands and his stronger hands, he likes to check out of position. And this time around, Alok
And
has
he
put in the bet
understands that
real quick.
when you're out of position and you're playing a game of this magnitude, you've got to keep pot control extremely tight. So he doesn't want to inflate the pot where he has a draw, and he could get bluffed by the guy in
Call
position.
400.
Yeah, quickly calls,
with
trying
a
to
hand
realize
like
his
5-6,
equity.
with a
He
hand
also
like
has
5-6 is
backdoor
not going
hearts there.
anywhere.
Queen 7 now. Here's the thing. It depends on what sizing Alok chooses, and if it is a setup hand, the river is going to be either a 9 or a 4. It's going to be fireworks
You
because
are one
I mean, listen, we're
devil
looking
of
for
a-
action, and we're looking to commentate
Sick.
action, and we want action for the viewers as well.
Absolutely. Arsh again checks his open-ended straight draw.
Yeah.
Alok wants to keep the pressure on. He's
Now
not
Alok
going
firstly
to let
has to think,
Arsh.
what kind of hands is Arsh calling me on the flop with? The probability of a 7 is less because he blocks that.
1.6.
The probability of draws is high, and he also is targeting the 8 because he's going to get pretty good value from the 8. So that's why he's opting to go for an 80% bet here.
Yes, he's really sized this up. He obviously doesn't want Arsh to get a free card to complete his straight. He understands that, somebody with a ace 8 kind of a hand would give him some value there.
No, he's totally pricing out the open-ended straight draw.
Absolutely.
Unless Arsh here had 6-5 of spades, it becomes very, very difficult for him to continue, because if he had a hand like a 6-5 of spades or a 6, maybe like a 4-5 of spades, like a gut shot with a spade draw now are those hands which he would ideally want to continue.
Arsh
But he is
now sizing up his chips. I think
Yeah.
he's decided that he doesn't want to.
This is going to be a very wrong time to raise. It's going to be a
Absolutely.
very, very wrong time to raise.
Arsh decides that this is the time he wants to put Alok to the test as far as his hand is concerned. And he raises it to 2.5 million.
45 lakhs.
Now Alok understands with that
Sorry,
flush draw coming
4.5
in.
million.
Alok understands with that flush draw coming in. Listen, now Arsh is repping a very, very narrow range. What does that range look like? It looks like 3s, it looks like 7s, which Alok blocks. It looks like 8s. It does look like ace queen because he's done this in the past with ace queen, queen 10, king
Absolutely.
queen sort of hands. And Alok understands he beats a bunch of these things except for those certain sets and a lot of combo draws that Arsh is going to have there that he does this with, right?
Yes,
Alok
absolutely.
has just jammed it.
And even then, I think Alok wouldn't necessarily put Arsh on 8s because he wouldn't have flatted from small blind with pocket 8s. He
No,
would have
but
probably-
since he's been flatting ace king and ace queen and
Yes.
he's been trapping him, so 8s is another one of
But
those
the
hands that
dynamics
he's...
from since then has changed a
Yeah.
lot. So I think Arsh is now going to,
Fold.
be a little more protective of his pocket pairs. So he wouldn't have flatted from small blind. He would have probably
Arsh-
done a standard 3-bet. Arsh has to let this one go. He has no option. Do you think there was an option for Arsh to flat and see what the river brings and see if it completes his...
So in terms of the sizing, so Alok has done this exact same sizing on the turn against Harsh Pele, and he chose 80% sizing. Now what that does is he's got 8 outs. For 8 outs, he basically
we
has
are- we already
16%
know-
equity, right?
yes.
He's got 16% equity to hit his card on the river. With that sizing, he's not getting right pot odds to make that call. What that doesn't allow him to do is just flat. So it's either a fold or a raise to win. He didn't want to fold,
Absolutely,
and he
absolutely.
felt
Arsh
that if
was
Alok
definitely not given
sometimes
the right-
and if Alok sometimes has the tendency to bluff, then he might as well raise and take the pot down there and then. So he tried to convert his hand into a bluff there to win.
Alok has woken up with ace 10 off, which is a very good hand in small blind. He's going to put some pressure on Faiz for sure. He's getting a chip count just to understand how much of his chips he has to risk.
Yeah.
Alok's still very cognizant that a double up can...
Now the dynamics have
changes
changed
things.
because
Oh God, this is an action hand. Faiz is going to snap call this hand, which he does.
all right, we have the ace 10 of Alok Birewar against Faiz Alam's ace king. At this point in time, Faiz Alam in terms of equity is ahead, but he is at risk for his tournament life.
Ace king. Ace 10.
It is. But the interesting part is, in case Faiz holds, all three of them are going to have the exact same chip stack going into the last end of this tournament. They would all
No,
have roughly 11 million chips.
No. I believe Alok will still have 15 and
Alok would have 15.
15 and
pardon
Faiz
me.
will have 10 and our man Arsh will have around
Arsh will have
7.5.
overs. Ash will have a little more. All right, it's
Oh,
an
chop
action
outs?
board. Chop outs have opened with the 6 pairing up.
That sounds like a 10
think
on
that
the
sounds
river.
like a-
Oh my
yeah,
God.
what
That
a
does look like a
suck
sound.
out
Listen,
for-
Alok and Faiz are very, very, very good friends. You see the camaraderie between them, shaking hands. That was a sick beat in the end. The 10 on the river, 3 outer, very limited equity. A full-fledged double up would have been there. And at this point in time, we have the final 2 players. 28 lakh guaranteed to both of them, but they are going to play for that trophy and the 43 lakh up top. I believe we may be going out for a break, and the photo ops are going to happen between these two. We're going to confirm that with our production team, but at this point in time, let's quickly talk about that bust-out hand that we just had.
What
It
a
was an ace-king versus an ace-10. Ace-10 was a clear-cut jam, applying pressure from Alok. And on the other hand, Faiz, literally the dream. He woke up with ace-king and
There's
absolutely
nothing better he could have
dominating.
expected there.
He dominated the ace-10.
Yes.
The board had clear-cut winning outs, winning options for Faiz there. The board brought some opportunities of a chop. There was a 10 and a 10 only, which
would have given Alok the winning
It
hand.
just happened.
It just happened.
It's one of those things about poker which is
that's
kinda
the
out of your
nature
control.
Poker that you can't control. You just have to make sure that you're playing all your right hands in the right spots.
Absolutely.
And then in some of these cases, you just have to.
So we're going to quickly go into a break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to have the heads-up tournament happening between Arsh Grover and Alok Birewar. Alok with a substantial chip lead at this point in time. I'll see you guys around.
अरे कपड़ा तो पहना हूँ, ये रॉन्ग म्यूजिक है। कौनो फिरकी ले रहा है। ये हमरा प्रॉपर्टी है, ये हमरा प्रॉपर्टी है।
ओए ओए खा पी के, ये तुम्हारी प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है, ये आईपीसी की ट्रॉफी है।
देखिए भाई साहब, इसको जीतने के लिए आपको खेलना पड़ेगा एक अद्भुत खेल, पोकर। पोकर समझते हैं ना? पोकर। आए।
अच्छा, ये पोकर का होता है। इन लोगों का हाथ पकड़ के डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं ससुरा।
समझ गए भाई साहब? आए।
हम खेलेगा, हम खेलेगा।
तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं अपना पहला पड़ाव।
अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो? कहाँ बैठे हो? किसके साथ खेल रहे हो? कंट्रोल कंट्रोल खुदाई कंट्रोल। किसकी चांस है?
मजनू, आली रे आली, आता तुझी बारी आली। अबे मुर्गी के कौन है बे तू? जिस पे है दम पत्ते लगाओ किंग हम। अबे किंगडम की थर्ड कॉपी तेरी तकदीर अच्छी है, क्योंकि जिस दिन अपन चिप्स उठाता है उस दिन गन नहीं उठाता, वरना अभी तक तो तेरी वाट लग चुकी होती।
स्वागत नहीं करोगे हमारा?
अरे भाई वेलकम वेलकम।
ये क्या है?
लाइव पोकर पेंटिंग। अरे इसी के लिए तो मैंने सब फुलझड़ी को बुलाया है।
अच्छा, कमाल करते हो यार।
झकास।
सर रेखा।
रेखा किधर है? रेखा रेखा।
अरे रेखा के आगे रखिए ना सर।
आए? जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल रखेंगे, क्यों नहीं रखेंगे। हाँ वैसे आपने भी अच्छी राय दी है। समझ गए कि नहीं समझे? समझ गए आप तो। अरे ये सब तो चाय कम पानी है। गॉड फोल्ड ऑल इन।
इसका हाथ
डॉन का पकड़ना मुश्किल नहीं, नामुमकिन है। मगर भाई साहब, ओ भाई साहब, ओ मगर असली डॉन तो हम है।
ठप्पा कहाँ है? कहाँ है ठप्पा? ठप्पा कहाँ है? कहाँ है ठप्पा?
पता नहीं, इनको मजाक सोच रहा है, मैं हार रहा हूँ।
ये ससुरा फिरकी ले रहा है का?
कब आएंगे अच्छे पत्ते? सुबह से ना किंग बटा है ना बटा है आधा। तो फिर फाड़ के फेंक दो एक गड्डी और पहन लो लूजर का पट्टा अपने गले में। अरे लूजर बोला? अरे मुझे गुस्सा आता तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, बता इसे जरा।
मेरा एक हाथ नकली है, मैं पोकर का बहुत बड़ा खिलाड़ी था, लेकिन भाई ने एक दिन टिल पे आके दांतों से मेरा हाथ काट दिया, लेकिन दिल के बहुत अच्छे। कभी कभी कुछ जीतने के लिए कुछ हारना भी पड़ता है, और हार कर जीतने वाले को
स्पार्टन कहते हैं।
अबे बिना रेक के हाउस गेम, तू क्या खर्चा पानी? डर गया?
अरे ये तो लुल प्लेयर है। ये रहा हमरा कॉल।
ब्लफ था।
हमरा कलर है, हमरा कलर है।
अरे ये तो मेरी गेम बजाने में लगा।
जीत गया हम, जीत गया हम।
बहुत ही उम्दा खेल रहे हैं आप जी।
पोकर में कलर नहीं, फ्लश बोलते हैं।
बोलो जुबा पोकरी। अनोखा स्वाद, क्या बात है। चलिए खेलते खेलते खेलते, खेलिए 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 खेलिए। हाँ खेलिए, वेरी गुड। ला 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 ला।
ये मेरा कॉल। थप्पड़ से डर लगता है?
सेल्फ डिफेंस।
अबे सुन, हम तुमको इतना ब्लफ करेंगे, कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे कि मग कहां से करें और कहां से।
अच्छे पत्ते आ गए पापा। नट्स है। गोल। I win.
कॉल पे कॉल, कॉल पे कॉल, कॉल पे कॉल मिलता है माय लॉर्ड, लेकिन पॉट नहीं मिलता।
पॉट नहीं मिलता। मैं आज भी फेंके हुए चिप्स नहीं उठाता।
ले लीजिए ना सर।
नो क्यों टाक? नो मीन्स नो। कोई बात नहीं, मैं उठा लेता हूं। मुझे हैंडपंप लगवाना है। यह अशरफ अली का श्राप है। और जब यह 2.5 किलो का हाथ किसी पे पड़ेगा ना।
अरे लुल ससुरा, तुम अपना हाथ दो।
हाथा बाजी सटकली।
अरे तेरी, अरे कैसन गोला है, यहाँ तो कौनो हाथे नहीं पकड़ने देता ससुरा। का करें दादाजी? लो हाथ दो। हाँ हाथ दो।
जाओ पहले उस आदमी को पकड़ो जिसने मेरे हाथ में ये लिख दिया। अरे भगवान का दिया हुआ सब कुछ है, दौलत है, शोहरत है, इज्जत है। कोविड अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है। सॉरी। बस बिग डैडी पर जाकर आईपीसी का टाइटल मिल जाए। मुझे लगता है अब घोड़ों की रेस में गधे भी दौड़ेंगे।
अरे मजनू, चलता है तू मुझसे। कंट्रोल खुदाई कंट्रोल।
बिग डैडी सुन के गोवा समझे क्या? गोवा नहीं, नेपाल है। आईपीसी फायर है। गेट इन द गेम साला।
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Welcome back, guys. So we have our final two players of 100K Highroller event of IPC Megastacks 2022. Well, we saw some amazing action on the table and now we're ready to begin the heads-up battle. Well, the chip leader Alok Birewar with a stack of 2.55 crores. What a dominance, Alok. Congratulations. And then we have Arsh Grover with a stack of 74.50 lakh. The winner will take home 43.32 lakhs and the runner-up takes 28.38 lakhs. So all the best, guys. Let the battle begin.
So much for that information, and we're back, and we are here with Sameer. I just have quick information for you. While we were at the break, the players actually stuck around, spoke to each other, and cracked a deal between them. With that deal, Alok has now secured 38.40 lakh for himself, whereas Arsh has secured 31 lakhs for himself. But they've still kept a small prize pool of 2.31 lakh aside for the winner to play for. And they're also obviously playing for that trophy, right?
And it's for the glory more than the trophy. I think it's what's on the line right now here, both for Arsh and for Alok. It's pretty much standard deal that they have done. This is pretty much the same deal we had done yesterday for the warm-up event.
Yep.
We had kept an up top for the eventual winner, because you always want an incentive. But I think there's no bigger incentive right now than the trophy and the glory that comes with winning the Highroller
And at this point in time, if you look at the numbers in terms of this deal, and also look at the stack depth, Alok, in my opinion, has around 3:1 chip lead.
Yes.
Right. So he is the big time favorite at this point in time,
Absolutely.
considering the amount of chips that he has. And based on that, of course, you're obviously supporting. It's between you and me as well here in the commentary booth.
You
right?
know
You're
what?
obviously
I'm
supporting
still rooting
Arsh,
for my man Arsh.
And I'm supporting Alok.
We both
There's
are
a little
poker
bit of
players.
this-
We don't gamble, so we're not going to bet into it.
Of
But
course not.
definitely, I'm going to root for
It's-
Arsh here all the way.
And we're on to the first hand here. Alok stacking his orange chips on one side, making way. He has 25.4 million. That 254 million doesn't seem to be
Yes,
the
I
right
think-
number. It's definitely 25.4 million there.
Yes, so he does have almost a 1:4 chip lead over Arsh.
Yes. At this point in time, I just want our viewers to understand that when it's heads-up play, the dealer is also considered to be the small blind, and he acts first pre-flop, but post-flop he has position, and he acts second. At this point in time, Arsh calls 200k, and Alok quickly checks with the 10-4 clubs.
All right, we are going to sweat this. It seems no, we are not.
No
So
longer.
Arsh,
Now, both of these guys have tremendous amounts of experience playing heads-up poker.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people find it very, very difficult, but these guys have found themselves in a lot of heads-up situations
I would know the
throughout their
feeling.
life, throughout their life,
400,
and
sir. 400 call.
I think it's
Arsh
going
decides
to
to
be a very quick call by Alok
lead
there.
out here.
Call 400.
Definitely. I was
I
expecting
think
a call
with
there.
that call, Arsh, I think now has a fair idea how things gonna shape up for him.
Yeah.
I think Alok is going to check his bottom pair one more time here. He's going to take a stab at this.
Alok leads.
600K.
Now,
Does
see,
lead
a
out.
king is actually a pretty
very
favorable
safe card, yes.
for Alok in terms of it reduces the possibility of Arsh having a king. It also certain times when Arsh has an ace that he has slow played pre-flop by just matching and tries to bet on the flop. The king is a favorable card
Call
for
600K.
Alok's range. Now here's the thing. Arsh definitely has a plan here because he's called this 600,000 on the turn, and I'm not kidding. He is doing this with a plan. There is no other reason for him to be doing this.
And the ace
Another
repeats, which counterfeits
Yeah, and
Alok's
they both
pair
are
completely.
playing the board now. It's aces, kings with the 10 kicker with
Absolutely.
both of them, and that actually is not great news for Alok, but brilliant news for Arsh. But we don't know what the plan is. Can somebody rep an ace or a king and rep a full house? Here is the question that we're trying to solve.
And Arsh does have the positional advantage here over Alok. There's only so much that Alok can do from here.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Alok led out on the turn and got called. Now he has to think that Arsh has some level of connectivity with the board, right? And that's why he checks here. Now Arsh obviously called with a plan, and that plan is something that he has to execute now. Listen, he is chopping, but he doesn't know that. He might still be thinking that I may be behind, and I want to convert my hand, which is an 8-3 off, into a bluff.
But he also
right?
understands that there's only so many hands with which Alok would be checking this kind of a board on the river after leading out on the turn.
Yeah, not a
Does
very
make
big
a
bet.
He makes
And quickly takes it down. That is beautiful
Beautifully
play. Like we
done
discussed
by
that
Arsh.
on the turn, when he makes that call, he has to have a plan, and that plan is to definitely convert his hand into a bluff on the river, because if he hadn't done that, then there's no point making that call on the turn in the first place,
absolutely
right? Beautiful
absolutely.
display
And
of
Alok
poker
could not
there.
do much there because even though he was chopping that board, Calling a bet like that just to
I put the ante last one.
chop it would not have made sense for Alok. So Alok lets it go.
Yeah, we can.
I don't know what the rules are like.
See, at this point in time, two players are discussing whether there is an ante involved in a heads-up situation.
We
Technically,
did
a lot
have
of
this
tournaments.
discussion yesterday,
Yes.
and we objected to the tournament director. There should not be ante, but they insisted that this tournament
Then
does
I'm
have an ante
assuming
for
that
the
they
big
will have
blind, and we were made to play that. So let's see what happens today.
So 400.
Okay.
No? You give me 400
Yes.
back.
We can't stop it. They're saying we have to.
You have to put the ante.
Yeah.
Yes, so the tournament does go with the standard rule that the big blind has to put ante.
You don't want to put big blind ante in the heads up.
Arsh is making the same argument that I made yesterday.
Yeah.
That big blind ante completely changes the equation of the hand. The
Ladies
pot
and
equity
gentlemen,
changes
yeah, this
dramatically
is
for the dealer.
the 100K high roller at the Spartan Poker India Poker Championship, and this is the heads up between Arsh Grover and Alok Birewar. In fact, the very first hand of the heads up game was a tremendously, beautifully well played hand there. In this particular hand, it's Jack 5 versus 5-3, and Arsh is
Both of them have clipped
dominated.
their bottom pair, but once again,
500.
We're gonna
500K.
Definitely, Arsh is not going anywhere, but the question is whether he decides to just call or play it creatively. The last hand as was very well played in terms of
Absolutely.
his creativity. A3 makes the call.
Arsh understands this heads-up equation extremely well. He knows that his bottom pair sometimes is going to be good.
Yep.
What he doesn't know is here, currently he's dominated.
Now,
But, well, the turn has
is a
bottom is.
very exciting card because it makes two pair for Alok, but it brings in a pair along with a flush draw for Arsh. Now he has a flush draw. He's got multiple outs which are 9 in terms of all the diamonds, and at this point in time, he may opt to check raise sometimes this turn, but he may want to also realize his equity because he knows if Alok is bluffing by check raising, he allows Alok to get away. He'll have, and he could win the pot right now, and he just
Arsh does let it go. Arsh does
quickly
let his flush draw
folds.
go.
That was a quick fold.
If the board hadn't brought in two pair for Alok, there could have been chop outs again like
Yeah.
last time, and it would have been interesting to see this time whether Alok takes positional advantage of the situation. Fortunately for him, though, the turn bought him two pairs, and it was easy for him to take it down. Arsh has 5-3 off, but he is in position. He has to call just the big blind.
Big blind also.
And again, because this is big blind ante, there is 4 times the money in the pot for him to grab with his positional advantage.
Call.
Arsh just
Option
opting
big
to
blind.
call. Option with Alok if he wants to raise or just play.
All in.
So
He's
they're all
just
in.
gone all in.
Alok shoves his entire and puts Arsh.
Love to see what he had here. It's a very important hand for us to understand what he had that he just decided to open rip with.
Unfortunately,
Chelsea
RFI
there,
did
the
not.
tracker, is going to put in the hand, and we would most likely know what the hand was. It's a king 6. Now he's applying max pressure because he has a king in his hand. And listen, high cards have a huge amount of value
here,
when
yeah.
you're playing heads
Absolutely.
up poker.
And in heads up game, he knows it's blocking all the ace king, king X combinations there. We're getting a chip count update from Alok, who has 26 million chips. The screen was erroneously showing 254.
250 to call.
Yeah, I think we missed the decimal there. Jack 9, very playable hand. The question is whether he just limps in or raises.
Once again, he decides to
just
put
rips
max
it
pressure
in.
on Arsh.
Arsh looking down at his cards. He's not snap called yet, which is very good news for Alok because he definitely doesn't have a snap calling hand. He's obviously evaluating the overall range that Alok would jam with.
Absolutely.
And
But
we still don't know what he
it
has.
also gets a little tricky with hands like Jack 9 because if Arsh decides to call him off, he could be Alok could be dominated.
He's
and
most
that
likely
would
going to be
move
dominated.
the chip stack so swiftly from one end to the other and give Arsh a fighting chance if he doubles up from here.
Absolutely. And a double up is what he's looking at, and he does make that fold. We still don't know what hand he had, but he did give it a full thought. Nevertheless, Alok picking up some more chips, moving up to close to 26 million, and Harsh has come down to 6.4 million. He's got about 16 big blinds. He had 9-3. Pretty definite fold there, in my opinion, as well. Now the button goes back to Arsh, and we move on to the next hand.
Arsh carefully organizing his 25k orange chips and 100k white chips. Arsh is going to be the first one to act here pre-flop, and Alok would have the option.
He has jammed.
Arsh decides to put pressure.
He has gone
back on
all
Alok
in.
and get those chips back that he's been losing in the blinds.
Alok has a Jack 8.
has
Now
Jack
listen,
8.
we saw him previously jam with his Jack 9, but please understand the dynamics. It's so much more difficult to call off a jam than to jam yourself.
Absolutely. We talked about this when they were playing three-handed also, that it is easier to put pressure when you're the first to act rather than All right, we move on to the next hand. Alok has Queen Jack off, and considering his last move, I'm expecting nothing less than a shove here, unless he decides to now. Well, he does shove on Arsh Grover. Arsh now checking what does he have. He has 10-9 suited, and he does make a snap call.
All right, now this is for Arsh Grover's tournament life. If he doubles up, we're going to continue this heads-up play. If he doesn't, we're going to have our high roller winner in Alok.
Absolutely. Arsh is dominated, but he does have straight outs. He has flush outs. Some of his straights out, though, Alok is blocking right on the screen, but let's see. And of course, if he can hit his pair and hold.
It's a 60-40 spot. 10-9 versus Queen Jack with Alok, and 10-9 with Arsh there. Let's see the board. It is a queen high board.
One club.
There is backdoor outs,
Red card.
And it is over. We have our
a
India Poker Championship Megastacks High Roller winner in Alok Birewar. Listen, I can't give enough credit to this man because he came in as a chip lead. He finished as a chip lead. He's got all the chips in the tournament. Arsh Grover, listen, big shout out to that man. He's played really, really well, and he's come second and taken home us really
Alok
big
Birewar
prize
also
amount.
played extremely well. Congratulations all around for Arsh Grover from his team members, from Kunal Patni there, congratulating his friends.
Absolutely.
And, huge kudos to Alok for, maintaining his chip stack lead. We know in poker, chip stack leads sometimes can quickly dwindle away.
Of course, and it sometimes, it has a reverse effect on you. It kind of, some people just are over-aggressive on the table and they end up giving free double ups to a couple of people.
Now I just think like you're taking a shot at me, but
I'm
that's
actually
okay.
not. I mean, it wouldn't be fair,
yes,
but...
it's all in good fun. But yes, it does happen, and it's not uncommon to see that, chip leaders sometimes lose their huge chip lead, in a matter of a few hands here and there. But, huge kudos to Alok for maintaining that chip lead and, seeing it through to the end. And of course, great play by Arsh Grover. He understood the equation very well. He played all the right spots in the right way. Unfortunately, in a 60-40 spot, things didn't go his way. But
there you can see Kunal,
great work by all of them.
Arsh and Alok chit-chatting with each other and trying to understand what they were doing, sharing their notes. They've been doing that all throughout. Great camaraderie between both of them.
Absolutely.
I just want to quickly reiterate the fact that at this point in time, Alok, who had initially won 38.40 lakh, please add another 2 lakh 31,000 on top of that, which would make his total 40 lakh 71,000, which is brilliant, right? And on the other hand, Arsh has also bagged a very, very big prize pool amount for second place at 31 lakhs. This is unbelievable amounts of money. Look at them both shaking hands, giving each other hugs. I just want to quickly talk through this overall final table. First of all, I, in my own experience, have never seen a final table of this magnitude. We had some WSOP bracelet winners.
Nikita
We
Luther.
had and Abhinav Iyer.
And
right?
Abhinav- oh, we
you know,
had
we had
two
big,
bracelet
we had
winners.
big people on the
Yes,
table, and then
Abhinav
we
Iyer.
have some young guns like Arsh Grover and Anuj Yadav. Then we have the chip leader with a commanding chip lead and a lot of composure on the table in terms of Alok Birewar. And let us not forget a man who came third, and also the celebrities. We had some actors with Siddhant Kapoor and Ali
was also on the table.
So
Yes.
listen, the kind of mix that we had was unbelievable. The amount of fun that we had, the dynamics was so much fun.
That's the great thing about poker. You know, any big tournament that we have in India, especially IPC, which is which is one of the premier championships of India. You always see a few poker pros, but you'll also see a few recreational players,
Absolutely.
and they're always witting it out. And with that, I think they're gonna
Go
take
out
it to
for
the
a break, and we will come back with the presentation ceremony for the trophy give out to Alok Birewar for his first place finish for the Highroller at India Poker Championship.
अरे कपड़ा तो पहना हूँ, ये रॉन्ग म्यूजिक है, कौनो फिरकी ले रहा है, ये हमरा प्रॉपर्टी है, ये हमरा प्रॉपर्टी है।
ओए ओए खा पी के ये तुम्हारी प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है, ये आईपीसी की ट्रॉफी है। देखिए भाई साहब, इसको जीतने के लिए आपको खेलना पड़ेगा एक अद्भुत खेल, पोकर। पोकर समझते हैं ना? पोकर। आए।
अच्छा, ये पोकर का होता है, इन लोगों का हाथ पकड़ के डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं ससुरा।
समझ गए भाई साहब। आए।
हम खेलेगा।
तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं अपना पहला पड़ाव।
अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो? कहाँ बैठे हो? किसके साथ खेल रहे हो? कंट्रोल
कंट्रोल खुदाई कंट्रोल।
किसकी चांस है?
मजनू आली रे आली, आता तुझी बारी आली। अबे मुर्गी के कौन है बे तू? जिस पे है दम पत्ते लगाओ किंग हम। अबे किंगडम की थर्ड कॉपी तेरी तकदीर अच्छी है, क्योंकि जिस दिन अपन चिप्स उठाता है उस दिन गन नहीं उठाता, वरना अभी तक तो तेरी वाट लग चुकी होती।
स्वागत नहीं करोगे हमारा?
अरे भाई वेलकम वेलकम।
ये क्या है?
लाइव पोकर पेंटिंग। अरे इसी के लिए तो मैंने सब फुलझड़ी को बुलाया है।
अच्छा, कमाल करते हो यार।
झकास।
सर रेखा।
रेखा किधर है? रेखा रेखा।
अरे रेखा के आगे रखिए ना सर।
आए? जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल रखेंगे, क्यों नहीं रखेंगे। हाँ वैसे आपने भी अच्छी राय दी है। समझ गए कि नहीं समझे? समझ गए आप तो। अरे ये सब तो चाय का पानी है। गॉड फोल्ड ऑल इन।
इसका हाथ
डॉन का पकड़ना मुश्किल नहीं, नामुमकिन है। मगर भाई साहब, ओ भाई साहब, ओ मगर असली डॉन तो मैं।
ठप्पा कहाँ है? कहाँ है ठप्पा? ठप्पा कहाँ है?
नहीं
कहाँ है ठप्पा?
पता नहीं, इनको मजाक सोच रहा है, मैं हार रहा हूँ।
ये ससुरा फिरकी ले रहा है का?
कब आएंगे अच्छे पत्ते? सुबह से ना किंग बटा है ना बटा है आधा ऐस।
तो फिर फाड़ के फेंक दो एक गड्डी और पहन लो लूजर का पट्टा अपने गले में।
अरे लूजर बोला? अरे मुझे गुस्सा आता तो मैं क्या करता हूँ,
बता इसे जरा।
मेरा एक हाथ नकली है, मैं पोकर का बहुत बड़ा खिलाड़ी था, लेकिन भाई ने एक दिन टिल पे आके दांतों से मेरा हाथ काट दिया, लेकिन दिल के बहुत अच्छे
क्या कभी कभी कुछ जीतने के लिए कुछ हारना भी पड़ता है, और हार कर जीतने वाले को स्पार्टन कहते हैं। अबे बिना देख के हाउस गेम, तू क्या खर्चा पानी? डर गया?
अरे ये तो लुल प्लेयर है, ई रहा हमरा कॉल।
ब्लफ था।
हमरा कलर है, हमरा कलर है।
अरे ये तो मेरी गेम बजाने में लगा।
जीत गया हम।
बहुत ही उम्दा खेल रहे हैं आप। ये
पोकर में कलर नहीं, फ्लश बोलते हैं।
बोलो जुबा पोकरी। अनोखा स्वाद, क्या बात है। चलिए खेलिए। हाँ खेलिए, वेरी गुड। ला 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 ला।
ये मेरा कॉल। थप्पड़ से डर लगता है?
सेल्फ डिफेंस।
अबे सुन, हम तुमको इतना ब्लफ करेंगे, कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे कि मग कहां से करें और कहां से।
अच्छे पत्ते आ गए पापा। नट्स है। कॉल। I win. कॉल पे कॉल मिलता है माय लॉर्ड, लेकिन पॉट नहीं मिलता। मैं आज भी फेंके हुए चिप्स नहीं उठा था।
ले लीजिए ना सर।
नो। क्यों टाक? नो मीन्स नो। कोई बात नहीं, मैं उठा लेता हूं। मुझे हैंडपंप लगवाना है। यह अशरफ अली का श्राप है। और जब यह 2.5 किलो का हाथ किसी पे पड़ेगा ना।
अरे लुल ससुरा, तुम अपना हाथ दो।
हाथा बाजी सटकली। क्या?
अरे तेरी, अरे कैसन गोला है, यहाँ तो कौनो हाथे नहीं पकड़ने देते ससुरा। का करें दादाजी? लो हाथ दो। हाँ हाथ दो।
जाओ पहले उस आदमी को पकड़ो जिसने मेरे हाथ में ये लिख दिया। अरे भगवान का दिया हुआ सब कुछ है, दौलत है, शोहरत है, इज्जत है। कोविड अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है। सॉरी। बस बिग डैडी पर जाकर आईपीसी का टाइटल मिल जाए। मुझे लगता है अब घोड़ों की रेस में गधे भी दौड़ेंगे। अरे मजनू चलता है तू मुझसे। कंट्रोल खुदाई कंट्रोल। बिग डैडी सुन के गोवा समझे क्या? गोवा नहीं, नेपाल है। आईपीसी फायर है। गेट इन द गेम साला।
This game may be habit forming or financially risky. Play responsibly.
Welcome back, guys, to the presentation ceremony of 100K Highroller event. Today we witnessed some mind-boggling action on the table, and we finally have our winner. But before that, I'd like to call our runner-up, Mr. Arsh Grover, who's taking 31 lakhs. Congratulations, Arsh. So how are you feeling? Tell us something about your thought process and what was going on in your mind during Heads Up. I mean, I'm sure it's not big of a loss because you both decided to chop the ICM ratio, right?
So we both decided to chop the ICM ratio, and it was a very fun final table. I'm very happy for Alok. He's a good friend of mine, and he just bossed the entire FT. He played phenomenal, and yeah, it was fun, man. Overall, it was a very good experience. Loved it.
So overall, the experience was great.
It was great. Yeah.
I think that's great. Congratulations and thank you so much. So now I'd like to call Mr. Ashwin Rao, Assistant VP of Spartan. So guys, now our winner of 100K Highroller event is Mr. Alok Birewar, who's taking 40.71 lakhs. Give it a round of applause for him, guys. Congratulations. So, tell me, how are you feeling?
Really good. Like, it was a really fun final table for me. I had all the chips in the world, so I actually had great fun playing this one.
आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था, you know, during the whole heads up situation?
Like, it was a really short heads up, and he's a better player than me, so like my plan was to, you know, keep it high variance, not give him any chances post flop.
And how was your final table experience at IPC?
Amazing, really good. Really fun final table as well. Most of them are my friends, so it was a fun final table. We were chatting the whole time. So yeah, it was really good.
Great. Thank you so much and congratulations once again. I'd like you to hand over the trophy to him, please. Yay! Congratulations. Well, that is all for today. This is Palak Purswani signing off.